Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing today? Hello, party people. Teo Rafferty, thank you very much for subscribing. Wow, did anything interesting happen over the weekend? DD beating everyone in Twitch chat to the stream. Hell yeah. Got a major dub today. Hell yeah. Wasted on a podcaster. Taylor Zen, thank you very much. Gotta go in like 1 minute. Definitely listening to VOD. Well, thank you. Hi, El Salve. Did take a nap, so that was poggers. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Wow, interesting. Interesting. That's cool. Staged assassination attempt? I don't know about staged. We're like obviously because it's the fucking I've been saving any give a shit I have about this. You triggered your Israeli professor in class today. Happy birthday, early birthday, Blue Phoenix. Happy birthday tomorrow. Hey, Zarina Chest. Halo EP. Why y'all gotta be? God, that's fucking terrible. Yeah, I don't know if I'm getting sick today. I've just been like you can see on the camera even my cheeks are all like really flushed. And I've just kind of been like really warm. But I don't think I'm like sick. Hey, Dakota Cat. The shooter's manifesto is extremely inconvenient to Trump. It was not staged. I mean, so the problem with that is that so yeah, I guess let's go through and just look at the manifesto, I guess. Just get it started. Gosh, your hair is so pretty. Thank you very much. Pragmata video almost made me feel sick. Yep. There were a couple times going through it. Like that was the reason I had to take it down and re-edit it a couple times because well, one of the reasons was that I accidentally used music I thought all the music I have saved to use in videos should be copyright free, but it was triggering a copyright, so that's why there's like no music in the middle part of the video. And then there was something else that was wouldn't stop triggering, so I just removed a short section of showing off something. I think it was like something was registered. I don't know. Yeah, no, that's Raven. That's kind of where I am. I don't think it's staged. I just don't care. And I think the more interesting thing to talk about with it is the kind of radicalization of a more liberal contingent, because everybody assumed, oh, it was a radical leftist. And even though dipshits like Michael Knowles were immediately out there, Michael Knowles was funny. Michael Knowles had a tweet where he was, because all of the conservative talking heads immediately after it happened are talking about how liberals and Democrats need to turn down the violent rhetoric. And he, like everybody in any establishment, won't shut the fuck up about fucking Hassan Piker. But it was really funny because he listed Hassan right next to Destiny. He's like, people like Hassan and Destiny, and that was like the most perfect proof you could see of like, oh, they don't see any difference between you two. They don't see any tangible difference between Hassan and fucking Destiny. Techno Tenor, Pragmata video was spot on. Saw grifters like the Dadvocate are spinning it like men want to be fathers, but all I've seen are creeps. Thank you very much. That is also that's also all I saw. Um, yeah, I'm glad people are enjoying that video. I think it was a good, like, brief pop culture intermission. Liberal, 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 liberal. Here's the couple things. There are so many weird things about this case, and ultimately, I don't think it matters if it was or wasn't staged. I think the fact that there was another credible assassination attempt that immediately people on the left and right, people radicalized, people close to the center, of all different stripes were like, oh, that's fake shit. I think that speaks to a much greater dearth of trust in our institutions, in our own security apparatus, than any kind of failure of security. I think that speaks to a very dark undercurrent in American society that, like, so many people, it reminds me a lot of a progression from what we saw with Luigi, where when Luigi killed, or allegedly, when the healthcare CEO was murdered, allegedly, there was this, you saw a very similar groundswell, and then the appallment from the ruling classes. All of the DC politicians, left, right, center, everybody comes out and says, oh, this is not how we handle things in America. This is not. And it's like, yeah, no, because in America, they don't kill you straight to your face. In America, they will stab you in the back and grind you down and extract all labor possible from your corpse, leave you and your family with several generations of debt, and then say that, well, that was all your choice. And it's not so different from what's happening with Trump. The idea, and it gets funnier every time they roll out these ideas of, like, can you believe Melania was so worried? They've been parading out these pictures of Kash Patel, of Pete Hegseth, of Steve Miller, and so many conservative influencers, I should say, who are very obviously probably the same people Ashley St. Clair was talking about being in these, like, YouTube groups. Or not YouTube groups, sorry. The same people Ashley St. Clair talked about being in these text groups. So many of them are saying, like, now these are what real men look like, and it's pictures of fucking Pete Hegseth hiding behind his pregnant wife. Like, they're just fucking embarrassing. Like that's the thing, is that you can't watch them even go through a purported crisis without them being the most clown shoes bumblefuck dipshits in the world. And that makes it so much harder to, because, like, these are people, again, Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel, Stephen Miller, these are not people who are trained in high pressure situations. These are not people who have their head on a swivel at any given moment. So when you have these fucking moments where they think, like, oh, I'm supposed to look tough, I'm supposed to stand here and look cool to be authoritative, it looks just like Pete Hegseth's shitty, way too tight suits. He looks like a 17-year-old buying his fucking first suit in 2007, where everything's just too fucking tight. And so it's just watching them, it adds to, I think, the reasoning why everybody looked at it being so fake is because they saw it as a moment. They saw it as a photo op, not a crisis. And that's very evident. And I think that's less because it was faked and more because of that's just who these people are terminally. MBTNC, thank you for $2. Whoever put me on C stars, love you, bro. Mo Binky, thank you for tier 1, subscribing. Nehemia, thank you for $5. 3 things. 1, did you see about Cash's girl being with another man? Oh, I did. 2, did you see RFK Jr.'s live reaction? I did. Look up Ungar3379. This better be good. Oh, hey, look at that. That's terrible. Formally determined Zionism is a form of racism and racial discrimination. Rough. Why would you want me to look that up? Oh, the lady stealing the champagne? Yeah. No, Somnus, I think it's funnier that it is not staged, but I think it's funnier that everybody already believes it is. Like, the thing is, again, you look at life now, and aside from Trump being who he is, aside from his rampant toleration and advocacy of violence to his base, no matter what I pulled up an Atlantic article from a couple years ago, by the way, that has a wonderful collection of some of his greatest, most violent hits. What do you think of waterboarding? I said, I think it's great, but I don't think we go far enough. We don't go far enough. We don't go far enough. Very fine people on both sides. Any guy that can do a body slam, he is my guy. When the looting starts, the shooting starts. Can't you just shoot him? Just shoot him in the legs or something? According to former Defense Secretary Mark Esper's memoir, which described Trump having said this about protesters outside the White House. There has to be retribution when you have crime like this. 2020, in a Fox News interview, praising police for killing the Antifa supporter Michael Renault. I don't fucking care that they have weapons. They're not here to hurt me. 2021, January 6th, just minutes before addressing the crowd, Trump shouted to his advance team, according to testimony from Cassidy Hutchinson. You have to show strength. Quote, you tell the reporter, who is it? And the reporter will either tell you or not. And if the reporter doesn't want to tell you, it's bye-bye. The reporter goes to jail. And when the reporter learns that he's going to be married in 2 days to a certain prisoner that's extremely strong, tough, and mean, he will say, you know, I think I'm going to give you the information. So that is our, what conservatives would like to suddenly have you believe is our just golden, good-hearted, honest husband, loving father, Trump, leader of our country, who is advocating for the extrajudicial jailing of journalists and actually advocating for prison rape of those journalists. That's what he is describing here, by the way. I am your warrior. I am your justice. I am your retribution. Suggesting General Mark Milley, then the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, should be executed. Quote, this is an act so egregious that in times gone by, the punishment would have been death. So, I don't want to hear about this bullshit that Trump is somehow, like, has always been the person to turn down the rhetoric. That's not even in the last 2 years. That's not even saying the shit that we just went through with Iran, where he said he's going to wipe out an entire fucking civilization over his dumbass military blunders. That's not even him talking about how they go in now, just automatically all the fucking time, how they're talking about going into Cuba, murdering people there, just like they went into Iran and murdered people there, just like they went into Venezuela and just murdered people there. I don't fucking want to hear about just the sanctity of life and we've got to turn down the temperature. Because you know what? Trump just cut fucking funding. Was it the Forestry Service? No, what was the other one? There was one today. NPS, it might have been NPS. Yes, it's the National Park Service. You're right. I think. No, because that's not 2026. The whole NSF board. There we go. That's what it was. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, we want to talk about turning up the temperature. Let's talk about the existential problem with Trump. Fires all 24 members of the U.S. National Science Foundation's governing body. Dismissal of the National Science Board is widely seen as the latest move to erase NSF's independence. Oversee the actions of $9 billion NSF, of the $9 billion NSF, setting policy and approving large expenditures. Is that this group of presidential appointees was advising the Congress to not follow the president's wishes. White House's decision last month to ask Congress to give it $900 million for a new Arctic research icebreaker is another example of how the Trump admin's Office of Management and Budget has prevented the board from meeting its obligation, who until yearly chaired the group's committee on large research facilities. OMB basically said very directly to our chief of research facilities that you will build a new research vessel. There was no involvement by the board, which is required to approve and authorize any major infrastructure investment. Do we need to go over the rollbacks to immediate expansion of American timber production? Fuck off. Agreements with Indian tribes. Trump administration shuts public out of national forest projects, wildlife killings. Today finalized rules to fast-track approval of logging, mining, drilling, road building, and other projects in America's national forests by eliminating decades-old public participation requirements for environmental reviews. Acts public notice and comment on federal bird flu responses and wildlife killing activities. Wants to take an axe to the East's last great forests. As the Trump administration moves to dismantle policy and open those lands to logging and mining, the future of these forests and the communities that rely on them is in question. The Department of Agriculture, under which the Forest Service sits, argues the roadless rule limits its ability to reduce wildfire risk, maintain access for fires, and promote forest health. Conservationists argue the administration's position is unsupported by science, no shit, and ignores the importance of these relatively pristine expanses of forest. The woodlands play an outsized role in sheltering wildlife, supporting recreation, protecting drinking water to millions of people, as well as storing carbon to help fight climate change. Began its repeal effort last fall with an unusually short 21-day public comment period, far shorter than the usual time frame, which can be as long as 90 days. After drawing 220,000 responses, nearly all of them opposed, according to an analysis by the advocacy organization Roadless Defense, most cited concerns about wildlife, tourism, and water quality. Still, the administration plans to press ahead. Last month, the Trump administration shuttered 57 of the 77 research stations the Forest Service operates nationwide, many of which study the impacts of climate change, invasive species, wildfire on woodlands. Since he's taken office last year, Trump has pushed federal agencies to intensify timber production, an effort that includes making it easier to use legal loopholes to fell trees. So, Do we think he is defending America's forests? Do we think he's defending our national climate, our habitat? No. We just went over. Let's go over again. Because I don't need to. These are some of the things that are a little bit. February 13th. Massive offshore drilling expansion. Public backlash. All right. From Earth.org, Trump administration faces legal and public backlash over massive offshore drilling expansion. 5-year plan to open 1.3 billion acres of the outer continental shelf to oil and gas leasing has sparked a wave of opposition from coastal states and environmental groups. Now, and I want you to think of the existential threat this has. Just to the world, to the environment, to untold species. And I want you to think, do you think any of them are going to fucking listen? We just read how they got hundreds of thousands of responses pushed ahead anyway. If they see dollar signs coming from oil, gas, and material production companies, they will strip mine the entire country fucking bare. They do not care. I cannot express this enough. Any delusion you are under that people like Trump and Hegseth want to really maintain and conserve the sanctity and beauty of our natural landscape and our forest is a fucking lie. I have bridges to sell you. So, and do we need to go over the rest of the reasons for Trump? Do we need to go over? Like we looked at just brief glimpses of how violent he is. And again, consider this is the man who was just talking about wiping off a civilization, wiping Iran off the face of the earth with callous indifference. This is the man who just pulled the trigger on a fucking school of girls in Iran. Fucking massacred them. This is the same fucking party that anytime there's a school shooting, what's their first reaction? Either how they can weaponize it or thoughts and prayers. You can't blame guns for this. It's the shooters, not the guns. And all of these reasons, you throw these into a pile with Epstein and him looking more and more like a pedophile, or at the very least a pedophile defender every day. You throw it onto the bullshit he's done with the economy, how tariffs are now hurting everybody else. The consumer has had to pick up that weight as everybody thought it would. The oil economy is completely fucked right now. Gas prices are higher. Nobody's making more money except for him and his billionaire buddies. How much money have fucking... $2025. Here we go. Let's look at this. This is probably just off crypto. PBS NewsHour. Again, they defunded PBS with your fucking tax dollars, but they can open up fracking and oil drilling and destroy protected habitats and all that shit. But ooh, this stuff, go right ahead. In second administration, Trump's family members, including his son-in-law Jared Kushner and his sons Don and Eric Jr., Eric and Don Jr. are expanding their business ventures, earning hundreds of millions. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Close relationship. This is talking about Jared Kushner. Relationship with Mohammed bin Salman during the first Trump admin. Very shortly after he left, Jared Kushner went back to Saudi Arabia, this time as a fundraiser. Invested $2 billion into Jared Kushner's investment fund, Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. Last summer, Kushner was dispatched by the president to work on the war in Gaza. He and Witkoff met with regional leaders and successfully brokered a peace agreement to end the fighting. Aww. Two months later, Kushner and Witkoff traveled to Russia to meet with Vladimir Putin to discuss a ceasefire in Ukraine. Earlier, Kushner accompanied his father-in-law during a trip to Davos for the high-flying World Economic Forum. In regulatory filing last month, Kushner's affinity partners reported more than $6.1 billion in assets. About 99% of those belong to non-U.S. investors, most of the funds tied to Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. Oh, here we go. We learned Donald Trump and Eric Jr. Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump have invested in at least 3 drone companies since 2024. Most recent deal involves drone maker Powerus, which announced last month it would merge with a golf course holding company backed by the Trump sons, with plan to create a new publicly traded company. It will compete for government contracts under the Pentagon's $1.1 billion drone dominance initiative. So they're just having shell fucking companies stealing your taxpayer dollars with government contracts. That's what all of this is being set up for. Oh yeah, Zeku, thank you very much. President Trump's social media company, in which his son Don Jr. is a member, agreed to merge TAA Technologies in a deal that would create one of the first publicly traded nuclear fusion companies. The deal is valued at more than $6 billion. So, what haven't we covered? He's a pedophile. He's defended Epstein. He's made life worse for everybody through just not only rampant corruption, profiteering, recklessness, completely trampling over any idea of the rule of law, because who's going to stop all this shit? The fucking Democrats. Nobody even pays attention to the environmental impact and the rollbacks that Trump constantly does while expanding the surveillance state, partnering with Palantir, spending billions of dollars to get trillions, probably more by now, in his fucking crypto ventures. So if you want to sit here and tell me that after all this, Trump deserves to be in power, he doesn't. He is a bad fucking leader. He has made life worse for everybody in America, conservatives included. He has made our health worse. He is making the people who regulate and run these departments worse. They are doing worse things to our environment. When Palantir or OpenAI or Meta or whoever the fuck sets up a data center. This is going back to what everybody got on Hassan's shit about last fucking week, and it pisses me off. When people were like, oh my gosh, Hassan said that we should kill CEOs, we should murder and steal. And it's like, no. He's talking about the concept of social murder, where how in America, liberalism loves to defend the idea that you're not really killing somebody if you deprive them of life and liberty, the pursuit of happiness. You're not really killing someone if somebody's been paying into for their entire life a life-saving insurance policy. Thank you, baby. Oh no, I don't want those, babe. Yeah, you do. No, I don't. Please take them away. Thank you. They're gonna be yours for later. All right, put them aside for later. Thank you. I love you. What was I saying? I was in the middle of saying something. I don't remember what it was. Oh, the AI. Yeah. This topic of social murder and how you're somehow an insurance company isn't to blame if somebody pays into a life insurance policy for their entire life and then needs it for terminal care and gets denied. No. That's the insurance companies. Well, they're just working with numbers. They have no moral calculus. It's because when you turn things into money, everybody suddenly thinks morality doesn't apply. That we have been brainwashed in America to think that money is in fact equal to nature. It is this cold, unfeeling, unmoral force that is wielded impartially. And that's not the fucking case. We are not a moral nation. Yeah, no. Poetic Sparrow, I legitimately seen comments around about people saying you don't have a right to food or shelter because people don't believe that. People don't believe that you do have a right to food. People don't believe that you have a right to a roof over your head. And then people will turn around and defend the right of companies and corporations to take and steal. They will, the same people, and this goes back to social murder, the same people who got all up in arms about, oh, I can't believe Hassan said that if somebody slips a fucking pack of bread because they can't feed their family working 20-hour shifts at fucking Amazon, then, oh, well, this is a breakdown of the social contract. Instead of thinking about why can't we pay these people fucking more while Jeff Bezos is making boats to put inside of bigger boats. Like, you want to sit there and tell me that Jeff Bezos can have a mega yacht, what fits another yacht inside of it, like Dr. fucking Evil, and you're getting mad at somebody over skimming a little off the top? I could give a fuck. I could give a shit. And that is ultimately how I kind of feel about any attempts on Trump moving forward. You are talking about somebody who our government, our rules, our regulations, they indicted him, they impeached him, and yet still here we are. I don't blame anybody for shrugging at another attempt. Because look around you. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking people who every day have more and more personal reasons to want this motherfucker out of here. And you know what? The Democrats aren't doing anything about it. The Republicans are riding high on it. I can't bring myself to care. I genuinely cannot bring myself to care. This idea that people love, it's the most detached shit I've seen. This idea that people love to bring out. I saw Barack Obama coming out of the fucking woodwork again, being like, this is not how we as Americans solve our differences. We absolutely do not solve our conversations through violence. But instead, the beauty of America is that we can come together in the toughest of moments, or whatever the fuck, vaguely presidential sounding bullshit he said. And it's just like, that's a beautiful lie, is what that really is. But the problem is, so many people are realizing it is a lie. So many people are realizing that, oh, there is an oligarch class that are all but exempt from any consequences. And it doesn't matter who they rape, who they kill, who they invade, who they slaughter, what fucking, and the thing I was going to bring up with social murder, the idea of the AI power centers that are currently, right now, poisoning black neighborhoods, that are poisoning people's farmlands, that are poisoning citizens in America, making their water undrinkable, putting lead and metal particulates in their food, in their earth, in their soil. And nobody calls attention to that. Nobody is giving a fuck about that. Nobody is caring how much these pursuits of profits above humanity are going to kill people, because you know what? They fucking have already. Like, we have decades and decades of legislation, of lawsuits, of class action battles waged in the shadows of American litigation against massive corporations. And the reasons you don't usually hear about them is because they get settled out of court. Is because these massive corporations know that they have more money in their legal teams than some farmer whose entire family has fucking cancer, who's lost all of their livestock, who will never be able to plant or till their fields again. And the way that they constantly escape, and again, these are trends that we've seen for decades. These are things that are still alive in the core of the Trump administration, escaping any and all culpability, any responsibility for their actions outside of them. Because in America, we like to see this as, again, this is supposed to be as nature intended, right? Like we've kind of imbibed this idea of might makes right and applied it to capital. So, and this is the real problem with liberals, is that subliminally, the difference between a liberal and a leftist, the difference between somebody who shrugs their shoulder and says, you need to stop caring so much about Gaza, and the people who are still full-throated out there in the streets talking about the genocide happening there, is that one group of people, the liberals, understand the system they take part in, insofar as they understand the role they play in it and the benefits it brings them. And they might know that it is at the expense of other people. They might understand that it is through exploitation. But ultimately, they don't care. Because at the end of the day, the American liberal is still an American. At the end of the day, the American liberal still believes that there is a correct, right, and upstanding way for everything to function. And we just need to get back on track. Yes, we saw this the other day. It was somebody saying how, oh no, Trump is the problem in America, not big corporations, you crazy leftists. And it's like, because to them that's true. Trump is stepping out of line. He is making all of this far too obvious. He is playing all of these tricks that corporate America has been playing right in front of your fucking face. He's got no kayfabe, is the problem that libs have with Donald Trump. And the difference between them and a leftist is that the leftist doesn't care if this is the way it goes. They want to do something better. They want to do something different. They understand that we can do more with the resources we're given. And most damningly, and this is the thing that really does hold leftists back, they understand that it's not going to be a matter of getting rid of one person and being done with it. Nehemiah, but the thing is, free market will regulate itself. Don't worry. Oh yeah, no, it's. I love. I had a kind of nightmarish thought the other day. But give me a second. My hidden IDX, thank you for following. Nehemiah, thank you for 5. One thing to ask is why Israel deserves self-determination when Latin America, Vietnam, half of Africa, and more don't, the governments we try and overthrow. Well, you see, because Israel gives us a tactical advantage in the Middle East, and all of those other countries. That's actually a pretty good question. Like, I know the reason why. It's because usually when we overthrow a country, it's because in some... Like, the big thing with things like the Phoenix Project was it wasn't just one or two countries moving towards socialism or moving towards communism or more egalitarianism or away from capitalism. It was a ton of countries all at once. And also they were countries that had valuable resources for us, whether that was minerals, whether that was a lot of food, a lot of fruit, a lot of cultural exports, like that kind of shit. So there is a very obvious difference, and that's because, like, ultimately the difference between that and Israel is that Israel has always been a Western-backed project, even since the kind of, you know, territorial British Palestine people, British Palestine project. It's always been westward, whereas like all these other things, again, we see from the Western perspective, America sees it as ripe for the plundering. They see it as this is the natural way of things. El Salve, thank you very much for $5. Trump says he invades Iran because it's a dictatorship, yet he won't invade Saudi Arabia despite being an absolute monarchy. I wonder why. It couldn't be because he's tight with the Saudis. Angry Salmon 40 and Nova Lee, thank you very much for following. But yeah, that is that's my like I don't care. Like, as a leftist, it is not not that there's like a orthodoxy to leftism, but generally speaking, most leftists will not advocate for the death penalty, right? And that is less about somebody deserving to die or not, and more about the power of the government to decide that. The power of a judge, an executioner, a jury to decide the value of human life. And most of the time, I would agree with that. However, we don't live in regular times right now. That's all I can really say. I don't hope, and this, it's the classic it's the classic Mark Twain quote, which I'm sure I'm going to butcher, but like I don't want to see anybody die. But there are people whose eulogies I would read with great interest, I think is how it goes. I do think so. One of the interesting parts. Nehemiah, my philosophy is that a state should not get to decide who lives and dies. Yeah, and I think there's also a like context is important, right? And I feel like context is key to leftism, to understanding capitalism, to understanding exploitation, to understanding colonialism, and how all of these things interact and affect and deliver our day-to-day experiences. So, like, I don't think as a leftist you can be, well, context is actually very important, and then not apply that same logic to this, because there's obviously a difference between, somebody who got put in jail for possession, or somebody who, even if they murdered somebody in cold blood, there's obviously a difference between that and the massive scale of destruction being wrought by Trump. Like there is a obvious difference between that. Is this a trolley? So I did want to talk about the purported shooter a little bit, because people have been talking about how he is not actually a leftist, but in fact a lib. It appears that not only was he anti-Gaza from some of the shit that he said, anti-Hassan, pro-Will Stancil, and a lot of people, I've seen a couple reactions. I've seen some of the more tanky Maoist Leninist types, the people who do advocate for violent revolution. I've seen them being like, oh, fucking leftists can't get your shit together. There's very obvious reasons why you haven't. Oh, hello, dog. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. You come out of nowhere. You just want pets, huh? You just want pets. There's uber liberal. How staged all this seem. Ace, we'll talk about the staging of it in a second, because I'm going to disagree. I disagree. Well, we talked about it a little bit. The IDF shirt, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, the fact that there was that picture going around that he was wearing an IDF shirt, again, as a lib, absolutely doesn't surprise me. Like, doesn't surprise me. I think here's the problem, the disconnect I'm seeing, because I've seen a lot of leftists being in disbelief that this person would have been radicalized from such a otherwise milquetoast viewpoint or in a place like Blue Sky. And I'm so confused as to why people are surprised at that. Because, like, we can talk all day about how close in proximity liberals and centrists and fence-sitters and unaffiliated and independent voters are to fascism, right? Like, we talk all the time about how it just takes one minority group getting a little mad at a liberal, and suddenly it turns into the MLK thing of like, well, I don't think it's the right time, or you just need to be more quiet about this, or why you got to be so uppity, and like, it takes one little thing to do that. It's the classic, if you scratch a liberal, a fascist bleeds. Like, that's it. It's I think too often people have this view of politics where you are one thing, and this is true of the left, of the right, of anybody, where you are one thing and you can never be more than that thing. Or you are locked into that, and that means no other aspect of ideology from anything else will appeal to you. But that's not the world we live in. And granted, this weekend has been weird to talk about and to go over because so much of it is stuff that I cover actually in the video that I'm working on for hopefully next week. Little EP Girl, thank you for $10. Don't know if you've seen yet, but the Pediatric Academic Society just had a meeting filled with anti-trans actors and few experts in trans care. Anyway, good news. Looks like my move is going great. Oh, congrats. What was I saying? Radical militant centrist. Social democratic parties and libs never beat the class collaboration. Yeah, and I think you see that a lot, this kind of social collaborationist attitude. You saw it. I think the other thing that's really I can't be bothered to give a fuck is that this is now the third, maybe fourth time that we've seen this hand-wringing over violence from the fucking right wing. And every time they're like, oh, the violence in this country only ever comes from the left. The violence, it's the problem with the leftists, and they're so violent. They're always calling Trump a pedophile. It's like, okay, well, stop electing fucking pedophiles, and we'll stop doing that, dude. Like, stop electing pedophiles, shooting people dead in the street, starting illegal wars for oil. Like, let's list them off, dog. Bun Smoke, I do wonder if Cole Allen's radical centrist online footprint will be discussed ever. Well, that's what we were kind of discussing. I don't, yeah, Karen L, go ahead and pin that. I don't think it's that surprising because, again, we see these things in such delineated terms, even as a leftist, you know, and I think as leftists, as people who consider ourselves more progressive or more to the left, I think we should have a little bit better of a perspective because we're called libs all the fucking time, right? All the fucking time. I was just talking about how Michael Knowles at the beginning was like, Hassan Piker and Destiny have been calling for violence, and it's like there is no delineation there for them. However, that doesn't mean there is no delineation. And I think the problem is in America, we see people that, oh, just because you vote for this, that means you believe X, X, and X. This isn't true and hasn't been true for a long time. Like, it's just not. I think Trump has brought back a lot of orthodoxy to the in-group of MAGA, to the in-group of, you know, nationalists and America Firsters, where you are going to see more of that in general. But like the conservative movement as a whole, especially younger people, are not the conservative generation of yesteryear. They are fucking messy, Zoomer, drug-addled, polyamorous, gangbanging swingers. Like, they're all off fucking twinks when they're not on stage at these CPAC events. Like, they have abdicated any real claim to, I think, a moral superiority or certainly anything based in religion, but that's kind of become part and parcel with the brand. The point I'm trying to get at is that there isn't like there aren't strident ideological standards for being in a party anymore. So it's not going to surprise me when a lib or a centrist or anybody cracks under the weight of all of this and is able to, I want to say correctly assign the blame to Trump, but correctly diagnose one possible, even if temporary, solution. Peppy Hair, $5. Thank you very much. I don't support the death penalty, but sometimes heroes meet the moment, or you're in such a revolutionary moment that niceties have to be set aside. Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. like I don't know. I don't know what people think revolution's going to look like, but there is no. I was reading Franz Fanon's The Wretched of the Earth, and it had a intro that talked about the idea of, because it's all about like French colonies rising up. And it goes over in a really fascinating detail at the beginning the concepts of colonization and how people colonize through the use of an ideal. Like you hold up, colonies would be formed and they would go and they would find native inhabitants to bring back home to Britain or France or whatever and be like, oh, look, these godless savages and heathens can read. They're worthy of respect. And the interesting part there was conflating the kind of the subtleties of when you do not deprive somebody of every aspect of their humanity, because you can't. Even in a relationship like slavery, you cannot deprive somebody of everything that will stop them from wanting their own freedom. There's no way to do it. Unless you completely dehumanize and tear somebody down to being an animal, they will crave more. They will want more. Some people will stick with the system. But after a while, people will understand that it will not be given by choice, but by force. And this is what pisses me off, because I've had, I was calling out Destiny on fucking Twitter over some shit. And I had a bunch of people in my mentions that I didn't care to engage with, talking about how, or liberals were the ones who won civil rights. Liberals were it's like, no. Like, liberals, the milquetoast Democrat liberals were not the ones marching in Selma. Liberals were not the ones on picket lines getting fucking gunned down by Pinkertons for labor rights. Liberals agreed with the thing after it was popular. They did not have the moral fortitude, the foresight to step into the fucking road first. NBT sees it just me, or is DD doing something different with their hair every 5 minutes? Maybe. Hayden Chastain, is that makeup? Not today. I don't have any makeup on today. That's why my face is all blotchy. That's what I was talking about earlier. I was talking about how my face is all red. It was commies. Liberal, la la la. Human smuggling, fentanyl deaths. Forced government euthanasia. Do people not? Oh, no. Nobody's read Letter from a Birmingham Jail, even though that shit whips. Easy. It's so funny to see DD replying to well, they're not random. They're friends. If I'm responding to somebody on Twitter, they're either somebody I hate or a friend. So if you like, there's very little in between unless I'm trying to like interview somebody or reaching out to them. Double trigger 666. Liberals were the ones that said, I don't like racism, but it's illegal. Too bad. Yeah, this idea, I kept having people in my comments try and tell me that, like, oh no, Destiny, you don't understand Destiny's arguments, and he doesn't argue based on whether or not it's legal. It's like, yeah, he literally does, dude. Like, he just spent a fucking week crashing out because Hassan is getting all these profiles made as everybody's like, oh, which, by the way, the most fucking embarrassing shit in the world. The most fucking embarrassing shit in the world has been the litany. Let me see if I can just fucking find it. Let me see if it pulls up. Let me see. Here we go. The real problem with Hassan Piker. Hassan Piker is flirting with the... I'm going to say Hassan Hiker at some point. The real problem. Let's see. American Jews have a Hassan Piker problem. Solving it is going to hurt. The rich don't play by the rules. Hassan Piker is the enemy. Hassan Piker sparks backlash. Hassan Piker is bad for Democrats. The hot new trend among progressives, micro-looting. Hassan Piker says American empire is dying at well-attended debate. Hassan Piker has a few choice words for his bad faith critics. Interview on live streaming. Like, the fizzling of Pikergate shows cancel culture may be over for campaigns. That's funny. Opinion. This is why there's no liberal Joe Rogan. Yeah, because they're all leftists. No, I mean, like, the real truth is why there isn't there a liberal Joe Rogan? It's because, like, even Hassan can read. Like, people want to call Hassan a meathead, but he's been, from what I've seen, he's been nothing but fucking eloquent on these. Granted, I haven't watched all of them. I haven't watched any of them except for clips that I've seen. But he's appeared nothing but eloquent. Taco Face Fright, thank you for $2 parasocial dollars. I appreciate that. It spends like real dollars. Oxpecker, people who get flabbergasted about people acknowledging the four-way political compass are petty, and sometimes they express confusion and head-scratching feels forced and feigned. I would say, yeah, a lot of the time. Political anomalies are not that confusing. You just have to acknowledge multipolarity as an objective real thing, and that political discourse is not a 3-act hero's journey with some binary fight between good and evil, where anything ambiguous is either secret fascist or a Stalinist. Yeah, no, you fucking nailed it right there. Exactly. And it's been weird to go over the shooter and stuff because I don't want to call it it's not like a study or a diagnosis criteria or anything, but I did talk extensively in the video, the kind of long hour-plus essay I'm working on right now on culture. Okay, I guess it's going to be on what should I say it's on? It's on culture. It's about the movie First Reformed, the movie Ikiru, the book novella by Leo Tolstoy, The Death of Ivan Ilyich. It's about how to blow up a pipeline. It's about clavicular, and it's about good luck, have fun, don't die. I would say that kind of is it's a lot. I'm just going to say it's a lot. But one of the things I talk about extensively is our kind of mass outbreak, our culture of mass outbreaks of violence, how we become so normalized to it, and how the only thing that a lot of mass outbreaks of violence have in common is generally a lack of any coherence, right? And I think this guy absolutely proves that. Like, people are like, well, how would a liberal? It's like, yeah, I don't know why people are expecting comprehension from anybody willing to undertake these kind of designs, because it speaks to the fact that you are willing to go there already, to wield a gun, to do all this stuff, expresses an intent, or at least an understanding of death, of finality, right? And I think once you kind of get into that headspace, there's not a lot somebody won't do. And I think it's just a lot of people are crossing over that barrier. More and more people are crossing over that barrier or getting closer to it every day. And like, it's gonna come for everybody eventually. Not that everybody is going to be like, I'm gonna go, shoot up wherever, but that pressure is going to mount, and it's going to keep getting worse because of the structures around us. And because it's going to keep getting worse everywhere, it's going to keep putting this pressure on people. We weren't meant to have all of this pressure put on each other. And we certainly weren't meant to do it while at our fucking fingertips we have supercomputers that can tell us exactly how every other person is, or more likely isn't, functioning under all of these same pressures. Yeah, I've just been rambling. Hey DD, am I gonna watch Animal Farm? Yes. Apparently it's not very good. Yeesh. Woo, rough. That's a bummer for me, honestly. 31. Whoo! Geared to younger children for inexplicable reasons, sacrifices the story's powerful political and social themes by the numbers plotting. Art and improvement. Mostly call attention to the power of Orwell's novella. Oh man, that's an all-timer. That's some fucking Roger Ebert shit. Parables about the corrupting influence of power and crude fart jokes can theoretically coexist, just like animals in the barnyard. However, they need proper shepherding. Okay. That's rough. That's a bummer. Brother, may I have some oats? Leica 1, thank you for following. Banana Wawa, thank you for following. Nehemia, thank you for another 5. One thing is a lot of old people whining about Palestinian activists at school saying they're doing it wrong. Deaf weren't protesting Vietnam in their time. Oh, yeah. It's a Hollywood treatment of Orwell. Well, it's not Hollywood. It's Angel Studios. It's the... Well, I'd have to look up. There was a whole fucking thing about it. There was like a... It traded hands a couple times. Azana growls, radicalization isn't a result of capitalism as such, it's just one part of the antagonisms it produces and is constitutive of. Yeah, because, not everybody living in capitalism is going to be antagonized in that way, and not everybody in capitalism is going to end up radicalized, is true, because there are so many people that live comfortably, but as that gap continues to grow, there are going to be more people who are strained because of it. Well, NBTNC, listen, The Chosen is good. Like, I'm being dead ass. The Chosen is a good show, but fuck Angel Studios. So the thing with Angel Studios is that they don't really have... It's not like the Daily Wire, right? Where to some extent the creative forces at the Daily Wire, people like Jeremy Boring and probably Ben Shapiro to a lesser extent, are involved in like the making of those things. Angel Studios is much less transgressive and much less explicit. Like they're still a Christian conservative company, but they will make movies that are just like period pieces and aren't insanely like they've never made a fucking Lady Ballers. They've never made a Am I Racist? And I honestly don't expect them to. Angel Studios, what happened with Angel Studios is they got insanely, intensely lucky with Sound of Freedom. They saved it from obscurity. It was sitting on fucking Disney's shelf, I think under the Miramax label or something, for years. And they published it, put it out around the time that its psychopathic main star was able to tap into the cultural controversy around QAnon and Wayfair and all that shit. Like, what happened with Sound of Freedom is not going to happen again. They got so fucking lucky with getting everybody to come out and see it and making it the conservative zeitgeist and all of that, and then also probably the buying tickets scam, which like nobody can kind of agrees how much it actually made. But ultimately, Angel Studios seems way more harmless and certainly less cruel and needlessly cruel than fucking like the Daily Wire. But like they God, who was it? The fucking movie the Sound of Hope they put out because they bought another movie that was shelved called The Sound of Hope, or it wasn't called The Sound of Hope, it was called something else. They changed the name to The Sound of Hope to like put it out the year after Sound of Freedom. I did a whole fucking review on it. Nobody watched it because nobody fucking knew the movie came out, even though the movie wasn't actually that bad. Not actually that bad. Like in the grand scheme of things. I'm not saying it's great and you got to go out and watch it, but you know, for a Christian movie, I was like, you know what, that's not bad. Not bad. Angel Films is kind of like VeggieTales, not sure it's a real threat. That's pretty, yeah. Like, and they haven't made anything like as fucking rancid as like that Fireproof movie or anything. You know, they haven't made any like Tyler Perry or War Room style movies where it's, you know, the main message is telling women, well, you just need to take your beatings from your husband. It's what the Lord wants. Like none of that bullshit. Goblin, not, and by the way, I want to make this sound like I'm fucking shilling for Angel Studios of all things. Goblin Culinarian, thank you for 50 bits. Hey, Vest, just want to make a small diversion. I was given a car today, just dead ass given a car. I'm kind of at a loss. The only thing I normally gift as a gift is socks. I think those socks, I think you're getting back pay from only getting socks forever. God damn. Congrats. That's awesome. Pack 1996, thank you for $5. You've been the only person I've heard bring up Angel Studios distributing the film. Feel like that's a large reason for the quality, but I could be wrong. So they're not Pure Flakes. Is the thing I'm getting at. If I'm remembering right, it was a similar thing where they didn't actually make the movie. I believe they're just distributing it. If I'm remembering. Here we go. Angel Studios film produced by Andy Serkis, Adam Nagel. Production companies, Anaventure, Cinesite, The Imaginarium. It's only distributed by Angel. Production commenced 2022. Joint venture. Netflix dropping the distribution rights. Yeah, it was supposed to be at Netflix. So it is. Angel Studios kind of does now what Netflix does. Or Netflix did, or they still do, and Amazon does too, where they will just take, I guess, the more low rent films that get shelved because people don't have a place in their lineup, or they're gonna put it out in fucking January movie time, and they're like, oh yeah, here's this fuck ass comedy with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds or whatever the hell, and they'll turn it around for a cool 40 mil and get their money's worth on Amazon Prime from everybody's mom and dad watching it. Mr. Chuck Gray, part of me would like to see Donald James Parker make a movie with an Angel Flicks budget. I've thought about watching Donald James Parker movies. I've thought about it for the maybe. I might have to do a why didn't they buy it? They think it has no audience? Well, no, I mean fucking Netflix is I am sure they have all of their credit cards maxed out. A couple years ago, there were news stories about how just absolutely unprofitable their market or their deal is right now. So I can only assume it's still that way. I did see hot wreck. I did see Mother Mary last night, and that was really good. I liked it a lot more than The Green Knight. Hey, Koa. Yeah? What'd you think of Mother Mary? Koa didn't like it. Why would you yell and ask me that if you know the answer? I was just curious. Maybe to change? Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I do like it now. Dang. She changed her mind. She likes it now. Wahoo! I hope you know that laugh picked up on the mic out here. All right. Yeah, so all of that to say, more than Green Knight. Yeah, I okay, but here's the thing, Agramulia, I didn't care for Green Knight. I'm gonna be so for real. I think Dev Patel did a wonderful job. I think it's a very well shot movie. I thought it was boring. Like I'm very hit and miss with A24. Excuse me. And that just kind of no, now I have hiccups. No. Um and yeah, A24 and me are very hit and miss. Very hit and miss. Oh, Pack 1996. Watch Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. A few nights back on your recommendation. Sam Rockwell was incredible performance, lots of fun. Well, keep an eye out because that is my that is one of the main features. I'm a little bit bummed. Um, I had planned to do like a whole skit and stuff, like I did on my nostalgia essay, where I remade scenes from The Matrix and shit. And I planned to do a whole skit basically as Sam Rockwell's character. And I even bought a see-through jacket that I could rough up and stuff. But I want to get this video done. I don't got philosophy tube time and money and production to put into everything. So, yeah. What do I think of the new Lord of the Rings trilogy coming soon? Still directed by Peter Jackson. Is that a thing? Was it a full trilogy? Oh, The Hunt for Gollum. I did see that, and I don't. A Goblin Culinarian, thank you for 50. First time you survive an attempt, you get lionized in the media. The second time, you're sus and people start giving you side eye. But the third time, motherfucker, what did you do? I think it is so funny how people, as a whole, everybody kind of, the media. I understand for people in the incredibly polarized political space, this has to be like, oh my gosh, there were guns and people were, oh my god, it's a scandal at the, I don't know why I went Nixon there. It's a scandal at the White House correspondence dinner. But for everybody else, it's fucking Tuesday, dog. Did he die? No, I don't care. Call me when that shit happens. Otherwise, don't care. Don't care. It's like, do you ever have your parents call you and they can't get to the point of what they want to fucking tell you? Well, first I was talking to grandma, and then that she has that one thing with her hip, and they just go on, and you're like, Ma, I don't care. What did you want to tell me, Ma? Just get to the point. And most of the time, I still don't care. And that's kind of how I feel looking at news right now. Hello, Richard Nixon. Loved you in Call of Duty Black Ops. No, that was the other thing. Goblin Culinarian, bro out here clapping wooden slats together that make pew pew sounds, and Naruto running his way past the Secret Service. No, I saw that footage and I'm like, what was the thought there? Like what? Because people, here's the other thing. People were like, oh my gosh, there was another attempt on the president's life, and it's like, not really. Like you gotta get within. You got to get within spitting distance with a weapon to count it as an attempt, to me. Like, I feel we need to establish some rules around this shit. Right? Getting tackled in the lobby and nobody got shot, disqualified. You don't get, like, hey, lady, knock it off. Stop it. All right, give me 1 second. I got to get something for lady. Like, Thomas Crooks is out here Like to be in the big leagues, you got to be on some John Wilkes Booth shit. The fuck you talking about? Rise Again, 845. Thank you for $2. Another getting really sick of this edge, and fucking tell me about it. Oh, tell me about it. Yeah, caveat Drago. That's the one thing. You failed level 1. That's the one. No, it is. It's an attempt at an attempt. Like, make it past the tutorial area, then we can talk. Okay? You make it past learning how to fucking do it. It's like watching. Have you ever tried to have somebody who doesn't play video games play a video game? Right? Like somebody who doesn't, because it makes you appreciate things like signposting, things like environmental design and tutorial design, because it's like when you watch somebody who doesn't play video games a lot and they just zoom past like cutscenes and tutorial missions and they just walk in a fucking straight line for the end of a room, and you're like, what? Yeah, and then they die. And it's like, well, yeah, because you gotta, like, that's it. Hey, if I had to talk to the attempted shooter, I would say, you gotta engage with the game mechanics, right? Like, have fun with it, right? Like, you can't just expect to win the game going, huh? Got stuck on the first Cuphead jump. No, like, he was really on some game journalist shit. Like, really. Mobile game ad tier assassins. No, he is. He is like the fucking level 1 grunt that gets stomped by the level 999 mob boss and gets his girl taken at the beginning of the mobile game ad. I just like, because that was the thing. He was also, I believe, shirtless when he ran. So I can only imagine that, like, yeah, Secret Service agents pulling out their guns and shit. But when you see that running at you and then past you, was he hoping that he would just have... Was he trying to peacock it? Was he just hoping that it would be such a brilliant and confusing display that everybody would be stunned? And he could just fucking, like... I don't get the plan, and I don't think there was one. Right? I think the seriousness of it got to him in the moment, and he was like, "Well, I'm here. I guess I better try. I'm gonna lock in a little bit." Rise Again. Thank you for $2. My guy loaded 1-1 and ran into the first Goomba. Oh man, he was fully dressed in the run footage. Okay, so they that was the thing I saw, is the picture of him without his shirt on, because I believe they probably cut it off of him to make sure he wasn't wounded. You know what, Mr. Chuck Grape? It did work for a second. You know what? It did work for 1 second. You are correct. You are correct. I saw that. Everybody in the, like, you can watch the excuse me, the security footage, and you just see the Secret Service agents being like they all draw their guns at the same time. They all crowd in and move in on him because, you know, it's a fucking security situation. But they all have the same, like, even on the shitty grainy footage, they're just like, what? Goblin Culinarian, thank you for 50 bits. Bro loaded up Skyrim and just wandered into the Dragon's Attack at Helding and then quit. Yeah, pretty fucking close. El Salve, thank you for $5. The story of this Trump-era saga is terrible writing. Trump's plot armor survived like 10 attempts, and he still continues his angry rants on X. No, it's... You know in Magic the Gathering? Chat, have you heard about this game? It's called Magic the Gathering, right? So there's these things called Planeswalkers. And you know what? That's advanced. We'll get to that in a minute. In Magic the Gathering, sometimes you'll sit down at a table with people, and they'll have a creature that's just a fucking pain in your ass. Just a real, right in the tuchus. And you might get a card in your hand that allows you to take care of that thing. And you think to yourself, nice. I'm going to fucking, ooh, Fatal Push. Ooh, fucking Feed the Swarm. Ooh, Swords to Plowshares. what keeps happening with Trump is that one motherfucker at the table who's got an answer and response with everyone. It doesn't matter. You're like, I got you this time. They'll be like, spell Pierce. No, actually, I'm gonna counterspell that. No, actually, fucking, flare afforded. Like, just fucking. It's just a constant like. MTG tangents. Check your bingo cards. I should do a bingo card at this point. What deck would Roger Stone be playing? Fucking probably Eldrazi Precon, that piece of shit. All right, I gotta feed Miss real quick because she's yelling at me. Oh, I'm gonna shake it till you're done, cat. There's your goop. Our new favorite thing to say to Grandma, our new favorite thing to say to the cat, our cat we call Grandma, is we're gonna shake her till she's done. I don't know what that means, and we never shake her, but it's just funny to tell her. I heard you laughing there. Kitty. TTBN Gaming. Hey there. Just watch your video. You're wrong. Star Wars is actually peak cinema. I mean, like, not Disney Star Wars. Like, look, I love me some Star Wars. Solidarity from Berlin. Thank you, Nadia. All right, so this is the manifesto. We somehow haven't gotten to it yet. You know, if I was a betting person, I probably could have, if I really thought about it, I probably could have told that this was a Blue Sky lib. Because there is something so heckin' millennial chungus about the writing of this thing. And people are like, oh, obviously Kash Patel wrote it. I don't think so. I don't think so. Kash Patel doesn't, like, he's not this cool. Zenagrel's OMG a DD Star Wars vid. I have several. I have multiple Star Wars vids, Zena. I wonder if they come up when I search. Oh, they probably don't, actually. Are you fucking creepy? You fucking cunt. This. The same day as my fucking video. I can't fucking believe her. Whatever. What was I doing? Dead Domain. Star Wars. Yeah, there we go. Both of my videos come up. Hey, 1.8K views. God damn. Fucking bummer. 1.8K. Goblin Culinarian, thank you for 50 bits. Of course, Kash Patel didn't write this. It's not hastily scrawled on a bar napkin. Yeah, no, I made a video about when God, that was not a great look for me, but whatever. My first video essay was actually this Star Wars video, although my voice sounds very different. Yes, I did, MBTNC. You can go look up my Star Wars. Go look up Dead Domain Star Wars for the videos I've made on Star Wars. Anyway, hello everybody. So I may have given a lot of people a surprise today. Let me start off by apologizing to everyone whose trust I abused. I apologize to my parents for saying I had an interview without specifying it was for Most Wanted. Classic. Classic comedy. I apologize to my colleagues and students for saying I had a personal emergency. By the time anyone reads this, I probably most certainly do need to go to the ER, but can hardly call that not a self-inflicted status. No, it, like, part of this, again, like, heckin' Reddit Chungus style, but I think it is also a, like, this reads to me as something written in either the heat of the moment or in the heat of adrenaline. Like, people being like, oh, well, you know, how would you, if you're fucking making a manifesto and about to go shoot up something? It's like, yeah, you probably, if you have that kind of disposition, I could absolutely, like, whenever you've read manifestos, there is this kind of clarity. There's this totality generally, even if they're going to fucking ramble about nonsense. He wrote part of this on the way to the part of the attempt, yeah. I apologize to everyone who's abused or murdered before this, to all those who suffered before I was able to attempt, to all who may still suffer after, regardless of my success or failure. On why I did any of this. I'm a citizen of the U.S. What my representatives do reflects on me. I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. Parenthetical, well, to be completely honest, I was no longer willing a long time ago, but this is the first real opportunity I've had to do something about it. While I'm discussing this, I'll go over my expected rules of engagement, probably in a terrible format, but I'm not military, so too bad. Administration officials, not including Mr. Patel, they are targets, prioritized from highest ranking to lowest. Secret Service, they are targets only if necessary and to be incapacitated non-lethally if possible. I hope they're wearing body armor because center mass with shotguns messes up people who aren't. Hotel security, no targets, if at all possible. Capitol Police, same as hotel security. National Guard, same as hotel security. Hotel employees, not targets at all. Guests, not targets at all. In order to minimize casualties, I would be using buckshot rather than slugs, less penetration through walls. I would still go through most everyone here to get to the targets if it were absolutely necessary, on the basis that most people chose to attend a speech by a pedophile, rapist, and traitor and are thus complicit, but I really hope it doesn't come to that. The 60 Minutes response to his manifesto? Oh, did 60 Minutes already do something on it? Why was Kash Patel considered a non-target? A lot of people are saying it's because he was like, no, Kash Patel's not going to be there very long, which I think is kind of fucking true. I think that's very funny. Oh, right. Yeah, no, I did see this. Let's watch first. Where the fuck was this fucking dipshit? Here we go. Here's Pete Hegseth trying his best tough guy act.
And I mean specifically you, the press. Specifically you, the press corps. Because you cheer against Trump so hard. It's like in your DNA. And
so here's the thing. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that buckshot, you ain't serious about this. Come on, man. Like, I get it. No, yeah, Clever Curl, it seems to this is the, like, it's a weird thing to say, but it's way too fucking optimistic of an attempt, generally. Like, it is way too based in things that if you are serious about assassinating, if you are serious about carrying out what is essentially a terrorist attack, you don't generally care about civilian casualties. And that sounds fucked up to say, but that's true. Like, you have one attack. Or you have one target, and it's a pass-fail grade, right? it is the Hegseth thing is funny, and all of this is funny because they do get very they're always come back to like the left liberal media, the same people hand wringing about violence, the same people who hand wrung about fucking violence when the healthcare CEO died. They always hand wring about like, you people are so mean to Trump. Why are you always mean? Why are you always calling him a rapist? Why are you always? It's usually just reporting the news. El Salve, thank you for $10. Can you imagine Asmold's take on Pragmata? Yeah, based. Pragmata has totally triggered the left and made women want to become factories. Pragmata is based and will save the West. Oh, I'm sure he has a video on it. I haven't checked it out because I'm fucking good.
In your blood to cheer against Trump because you want him not to be successful so bad. You have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. You have to hope maybe they weren't effective. Maybe the way the Trump administration has represented him isn't true.
He's like wasted here. He does not seem like he's fucking sober.
So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it. Spin it in every way we can to try to cause doubt and manipulate the...
He just... Again, it's this kind of like... It's in the tone. You know, like there is something about military men generally, well, and actual generals, but you can hear it where there is a command over themselves. There is a authority that they exude. And it's not just people from the military, but that's where I generally see it most. You know, fucking sergeant major or a general talking about something, like there is this very restrained, the quiet storm, like that type of shit. And this guy, he just sounds like, why are you guys being so, like, listen to him. He sounds like, why are you guys being so mean? Have you really thought about how this might impact the president? J. Kung 5688, thank you for $2. That boy ain't right.
Have we done it 2 or 3 times so that American people understand? How about how difficult it is to shoot a drone from an F-15 or 16 or F-22 or F-35?
Like, what? Have you thought about how hard it is to shoot? Do you even know how hard it is to shoot a drone from an F-15? Like, why are you?
What it's like to man a Patriot battery, or how hard it is to refuel midair, giving the American people an understanding of how complex and sophisticated this mission really was. There are so many aspects of what our brave men and women did that, because of the hatred of this press corps, are undermined. Because your people...
Dog, they just ask questions. This feels like he's fucking filling for time, honestly. Is he getting choked up? He sounds like it a little bit.
People are trying to leak and spin that it wasn't successful. It's irresponsible. And folks in this room are privy to that information because of the proximity here in the Pentagon. It's an important responsibility. And time again, classified information is leaked or peddled for political purposes to try to make the president look bad. And what's really happening is you're undermining the success of incredible B-2 pilots. And
once you think about the incredible B-2 pilots who are going to be bombing civilian infrastructure, who are going to be, once you think about the murderers and the drone pilots who are out there killing just schoolgirls and civilians in the street, why are you so mean to Trump over this? Fuck off, dude. God, I fucking hate him. He's such a, like, that's the thing. He's such a fucking pussy, dude. By the way, the Brian Shapiro has a really great collection of some history of violence because people want to talk about, like, this dipshit. Genuinely cannot believe this guy still is, like, around. I figured, I understand he is genuinely too stupid to, like, understand what an insult he is to everybody around him. But I figured other people would have stopped putting him in front of a fucking camera by now.
People were trying to dox my location live. I was at a hotel, and people were up on Reddit group chats saying where I was staying. And it's happened a few times now, so it's like almost even dangerous for me to go stay at hotels because you can...
Welcome to being a fucking, like, get Get a PR team. Welcome to being a public person, dipshit. Goblin Culinarian, thank you for 50. During my time in the Navy, I was routinely surrounded by people with more joie de vivre than the Secretary of the Liquor Cabinet here. Taking command from people who graduated the U.S. Navy Academy, who wrote these theses on military engagement and took their role as peacekeepers seriously. Nobody with an actual command respects this cat, and the betting pool is that he's going to fall overboard somewhere and vanish into the Bering Strait. Oh, fuck, I could definitely say like Murder on the Orient Express style thing happening if he finds himself out on a life raft with 2 other generals. Nehemia, thank you for $5. Bro thinks he's a lion, but he's really a geriatric hairless cat who needs help licking himself. Everybody say hello to Miss, by the way. She is here. No, Nick Shirley was fucking hilarious because he put out a statement and he misspelled a ton of shit and didn't know. Oh, man.
Get doxxed really quick and people come and find out where you're at. You get constant death threats from people. The fraudsters are angry. In fact, yeah, they're very angry. I've had death threats, and one of them was even very specific about the date. It's actually supposed to be coming up very soon, the date that they said they'd kill me. So
you're so fucking stupid, dude. What is it with these people, like, doing it, like, you're Streisanding yourself. Maxis Animates 53, thank you for $10. Hey, DD and Pals, quick question. How do I convince a parent that Nick Shirley is an anti-Semitic little twerp that said parents shouldn't believe a lick of his horseshit lies? God, who had a good video on that? Was it Sean? Did Sean put out a video? Who had the shit about debunking Nick Shirley? Because there was a very good one. Don't bump my mic away, you booger. Or was it the Surfs? Somebody had a really good breakdown. Jose? It might have been Jose. She is so rumbly. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, this Cuban. So what was the Jimmy Kimmel's? Jimmy Kimmel under fire again. Again, just goes to show you how fucking little Kimmel Jimmy. Jose had a good video. 3.3. Here we go. Fire Jimmy Kimmel 7 months after suspension. Oh, because of the White House fucking evil Jimmy Kimmel cracks widow. Oh, okay. Whew. You can't have a phrase like Jimmy Kimmel cracks Melania Trump. Like, you got to reorder that. You got to put the joke in there first. I'm like, damn, Jimmy, I didn't think you got down like that. What the fuck is this Metal Gear Solid ass music?
Late night host Jimmy Kimmel has sent the internet
Late night host Jimmy Kimmels
into a frenzy after mocking U.S. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump in a White House Correspondents' Dinner parody just days before a real-life shooting disrupted the actual event. In the now viral segment, Kimmel took a sharp swipe at Melania, delivering a line that's ignited outrage online. In a brutal roast, the comedian branded the U.S. First Lady as an expectant widow. The remark instantly drew attention for its dark tone, especially...
Yeah, it's fucking AI shit. I want to see the actual thing, dude.
Look at Mo, so beautiful.
Here we go. This is the good shit. Nehemia, thank you for another 5. Speaking of dipshits who got big in MN, Jake Lang sounds like Alex Jones now. Oh my god, Jake Lang. I forgot that dipshit.
Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
Melania Trump sharing.
Sorry, that fucking whips, dude. That's funny as shit. That's funny as shit. Look, Jimmy Kimmel, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, no, Jimmy Kimmel's really funny. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
A blistering takedown of Jimmy Kimmel, demanding he be fired by ABC after sharing, quote, hateful and violent rhetoric.
You're looking good, though, Mr. President. Who did your makeup? Kraft Singles? And don't worry, if we bruise your ego, it'll only make your hands look less disgusting.
The First Lady's post on X coming after Kimmel's scathing parody of the White House Correspondents' Dinner on Thursday, and this thinly veiled reference to President Trump's death.
Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
Okay, first off, that joke works on multiple levels, but you can very easily be like, well, that's not, it's because he's fucking old and because she's a gold digger. Like the idea of, well, okay, so first off, that's not actually at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. They're cutting to footage of another event for Trump. Like this is a skit that they've made using footage of Trump. So this is not him actually at the Correspondents' Dinner. But yeah, the idea, like, because he's old, because he's fucking senile, because he's barely fucking here anymore. Come on, man. Like, this is the shit that they are getting up in arms over. This is their thing that they are so bland and boring and lame that everybody is like, yeah, I don't fucking care. Like, you're just annoying with it.
The joke hitting a little different 2 days later when the real dinner.
Okay, so it wasn't the fact that they. All right, well, we'll get Melania's fucking take in a second here.
Dinner was interrupted by gunfire. No one was hit, but the suspect is now charged with 3 felony counts, including attempted assassination.
I wasn't worried. I understand life.
God damn, he's slurring his fucking words. Yeah, okay, so from First Lady Melania Trump. Kimmel's hateful and violent rhetoric is intended to divide our country. His monologue about my family isn't comedy. His words are corrosive and deepens the political sickness within America country. People like Jimmy Kimmel shouldn't have the opportunity to enter our homes each evening to spread the hate about my husband. A coward, Kimmel hides behind the ABC because he knows the network will keep running cover to protect him so he can do his movie set every night. Enough is enough. It is time for ABC to take this stand. How many times will the ABC's leadership enable Jimmy Kimmel atrocious behavior at expense of our community? Thank you. People like Jimmy Kimmel. Slovenia represent. Oh, man. Hello, baby. Oh, hi, doggy. Oh, hi, Mark. El Salve, thank you for $5. Trump is triggered by Kimmel by making a joke, yet Trump always makes... Oh, yeah. Makes fireworks tweets. He said he was going to destroy the Iranian civilization. Yeah, it's like, that's the thing, is like, that was very obviously a joke that can be taken multiple ways for Kimmel, but him out here fucking ruining the economy with constant spikes, which somebody's obviously profiteering from. It's like, give me a fucking break, dude. Oh, what a funny story, Mark. Hey, baby. Oh, hi, Mark. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
That's you to chat earlier, except with grandma and not hit. I did not shake her. I did not.
I did not shake her until she is done. Neo Retro Diaries, thank you for following. Did I shake you till you're done, cat? Did I shake you till you're done? Oh, I'm gonna shake it till you're done. Oh, I'm gonna shake it till you're done. Jimmo Kimmel. Unfortunately, I think Jimmo Kimmel might have to become a regular joke. What's up?
70-30 split, 30 lands, 70 cards.
30 lands, at least 3 or 4 mana rocks.
I got a bunch of mana rocks.
Okay.
So 30-70 is a good split.
I would go like 33, 34.
Okay. 35-65.
Yeah.
Sure.
Never want to put 2 little lands in there.
Thank you.
Hello, baby. She just sitting here. She just sitting here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. There's the good. There's the good lick. All right, let me see if we can. There we go. I'm just swaddling this cat here. I can't put my mic in front because she'll just bump it out of the way with her big dumb head. Look at this baby. Look at this baby. Oh, she's so squidges. Hello. How you doing? Ooh, I got you. Ooh, I got you. Hexbud, 30 lands. Jesus fucking Christ, DD. What deck is Koa building? A commander deck that they want to fucking draw cards, draw lands. Do not go under 30 lands. Do not go under 30. All right, let's. Ugh, God. I guess let's go over this. Well, let's go do the. She just gave me like a little nibble on the cheek. You're such a weird cat. You're so weird. I love you. You weirdo. $30 feels too little. Well, that's why I did like 34. Out of those, how many lands are basics? It's a pauper deck, so probably most of them. Can we ask who the commander is? I do not remember. It's a partner.
Brenelin, the Moonkraken, and Kelleth, the Sun Main Familiar.
Brenelin, the Moonkraken, and Kellen?
Kelleth, the Sun Main Familiar.
And Kellen, the Sun Main Familiar. Bunch of gators. Oh, damn. Oh, Jesus. Awesome 406. They're selling Fallout Collector's Editions packs for $145 a piece? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of... What the fuck? God damn.
60 minutes.
Like at a certain point, like I don't even think there's anything in the Fallout packs that would be like maybe a Surge Foil Soul Ring. That's a $150 card though.
It's overtime.
Mr. President, thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're safe. I am glad that everyone
I wouldn't be saying that shit.
is safe. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Well, Johnny Viral, the problem with old packs and buying them, at a certain point it becomes less about the rarity of the packs and more the fact that it's been that long and they haven't been opened. Frank Horrigan IR does make a handsome coaster. What the fuck? Don't put that Frank Horrigan. Put that in a deck. I think what is Frank Horrigan in? I put Frank Horrigan in my my Phyrexian deck, my Shell Phyrexian Nightmare.
Quite an evening. It was very difficult thing to watch, frankly.
Oh, there's a mana vault in those? God damn, Max Danger, what card?
But doing very well.
Mr. President, do you know if you were the target of the gunman?
I don't know. It sounded to me, I read a manifesto. It's just, he's radicalized. He was a Christian, a believer, and then he became an anti-Christian. And he had a lot of change. He's been.
So here was the thing. I was briefly, and I'm still curious. I still would like to see like a full list of the shooter's followers. But yes, Survivor ODXY. Agent Frank Horrigan is the magic card. Hello, baby. Oh, pulled the Umbreon. Okay. Oh, hello, little coughing baby. Literal coughing baby right here. Ah! Oh, Pokemon. I gotcha. Anyway.
Going through a lot based on what he wrote. His brother complained about him, and I think reported him to the police, and his sister likewise complained about him. His family was very concerned. He was probably a pretty sick guy.
I want to get to all of those details and also.
Oh no, Survivor ODXY. So for the Fallout set, they did, which I wish they would still keep doing for the Universes Beyond instead of doing full fucking sets, but whatever. They did the same thing with Fallout they did with Warhammer, where they had 4 different commander decks that they tried to fit as much of like the franchise into. So there's a Fallout deck that is like all science-y, and that's very Fallout 4 focused. And then there's a Fallout deck that is very New Vegas. There's one with Caesar. Well, actually, yeah. The one with Caesar is the same one that has Mr. House. Then they did one that was way more Fallout 3, and that was... Who the fuck is the main commander of that? That's Dogmeat and... I don't remember the other one. And then there's a mutant one that the commander is Mothman and the creator? I don't remember. But anyway.
Walk through this, what happened last night. But first, this appears to be the third.
The NCR one is red, black, and white because you can play it as either Mr. House, the NCR, or Caesar's Legion.
Numerous times, and I've actually, because of the position I'm in, I've done quite a bit of research into the word assassination. Terrible word.
Miss, Jesus, stop it. You're stepping all over my keyboard.
And they go after consequential.
The master, that's what it is.
Presidents that do things. If you look at what I've done, we've turned this country around. We've taken a country that was actually a dead country. It was dying very rapidly, and it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. We had a skirmish, a war, whatever you want to call it, with Venezuela.
A skirmish, a war. Oh, fucking. Oh. Mass Conquest. Yes, I am referencing the Master from Fallout 1.
Venezuela, we won that very decisively, and we now have a great relationship with Venezuela. It's been a very profitable relationship, and we're in Iran right now. Other presidents should have done it, but they never chose to do it.
Carson J13, this is kind of silly. Do you think Synthetic Man has a crush on you? I don't know. I don't really care. I wouldn't be fucking surprised, but what does that have to do with the price? Like, if my grandma had wheels, would she be a bike? You know, like,
They should have. They made a terrible mistake by not doing it. It's tougher now than it would have been 10 years ago or even 5 years ago because they had thousands and thousands of missiles and everything else. If we didn't do the B-2 bomber attack, that alone was a big deal. The killing of Soleimani, which I did.
Oh, my God. Shut the... I'm so fucking... He's getting worse and worse in his lack of... What's the word I'm looking for? His lack of intellectual rigor is something he's never had. But I would say just any compunction about starting to spout off about the most inane bullshit. Like, I'm so tired of him.
My first term was a big deal, but when you
Cognitive ability, yes, thank you.
A lot of things, and things that work out very well for our country. Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. McKinley was assassinated. McKinley made the country very rich. People don't realize that. Then Teddy Roosevelt went out and spent the money that was made by McKinley, but he was very consequential, actually, but he was assassinated. So
you mentioned, Mr. President, consequential, and your policies are also controversial. Is that part of it?
Well, I don't think that way. I don't think in terms of what they are. I just think of what they are for the country. For instance, I inherited the worst border we've ever had in the history of our country. We're 25 million.
What the fuck are you talking about? I don't think about what they are. I just think about what they are for our country. Shut the fuck up, dude.
People came in, 25 million people at least, and many of them were.
But what is mana that is only usable for cumulative upkeep?
Oh, okay. You're bringing me a fucking Ice Age card here. Add either blue or blue and one colorless mana. This mana is usable only for cumulative upkeep. Cumulative upkeep is a effect that I don't think it's a old effect, so that would be a literally useless card. I mean, I guess it's not useless. It's a what 1/2. 2/2 for yeah. You can do better than 2/2 for 3.
From hardcore criminals, and they were drug dealers, and they were from prisons. They emptied out prisons into our country. They emptied out mental institutions, insane asylums into our country. And I don't know if that's controversial to say we have to move those people out, but we have. But it is from the standpoint, you're doing something, and you're doing something that's good. Things like men playing in women's sports, I'm against that. Things like transgender for everyone, I'm against that. There's so many things that I'm against. I don't think they're controversial. I think the other side is controversial, but I do a lot of things, and I get things done. And, you know, we're respected now as a country all over the world. And some people...
We're absolutely not.
love that, but some people probably don't.
Mr. President, I'm sure you've now had the...
Like, her just... the dignity, the poise she's meeting this bullshit with. So good. Like, having to sit there and listen to, yeah, we're doing transgender for everybody, and everybody, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're the hottest country. Like, and just being like, okay, anyway. Yeah, so anyway.
Opportunity to see some of the pictures of what happened last night, and I want to walk through that.
Sure.
It was just around 8:30 p.m. You are sitting there next to the First Lady. The entertainer named Oz Perlman is talking to you. He's known as the Mentalist. When did you know something was wrong?
Right around that point. In fact, you can see the expression on the First Lady's face. And your president of the evening, chairman or president or both, who was doing a great job, by the way.
Weijia Jiang,
your
CBS
associate,
News.
yeah, she was a terrific person. And she was, you know, she had this big smile. I mean, they were, you know what they were talking about? They were asking the name of Caroline's child that he didn't know, I guess. But
Your
he was
press
able to-
secretary is expecting, and he was trying to guess the baby's name.
That's right. And that was the question. That was what he was actually able to get it. I'm not sure I'm a believer in this, but he was able to get it. And the First Lady and your associate were amazed. You could see the... and that
Shock
was,
on their faces.
It wasn't...
It's funny how he has to... He wasn't surprised. I don't know if I believe... Like, he has to... He can't even allow himself to be like, oh, I was impressed. I was... Like... It's just...
shock about something outside. But right after that, we heard a big bang, and it was either a gunshot or it was a tray of dishes, which happens a lot in ballrooms. And I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't.
You mentioned the First Lady. Her face, she looked very alarmed. Was she scared?
Well, I don't want to say, and people don't like...
Yeah, of course she was. She was afraid that she might die and not ever be free of him. Like, that's Melania's worst nightmare is having to be next to him when somebody tries. It's not that somebody would try and kill Donald Trump. Melania's worst nightmare is that she's next to Trump when somebody tries to kill him. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean? I put in all this time. I put in all this work, and some dumb fuck with buckshot is gonna... Come on. Yeah, that was real fear. That is real fucking fear.
Like having it said that they were scared, but certainly, I mean, who wouldn't be when you have a situation like that? By that time, I think she realized ahead of time that that was more of a bullet than it was a tray. And she was... I looked at her face just a little while ago before I came. I saw the scene. They played it for me in, you know, pretty good close-up. And she looked very upset about what just took place, yeah. Mm-hmm. Why not?
You see the security moving quickly, within seconds, grabbing the vice president by his coat, lifting him up, bringing him out. Then the counter-assault comes in. Took 10 seconds for them to flank you, Mr. President, and then 20 seconds to get you out. It looked chaotic. At one point, you were down. What was happening?
Well, what happened is it was a little bit me. I wanted to see what was happening, and I wasn't making it that easy for him. I wanted to see what was going on. And by that time, we started to realize maybe it was a bad problem, different kind of a problem, bad one, and different than what would be normal noise from a ballroom, which you hear all the time. And
see, and that's the other thing is I look at that and I'm like, yeah, this is not a staged attempt. Like, he's sitting there, and you can see in the footage, he's, like, trying to look around, and the fucking Secret Service can't wrangle him in. Like, yeah, he's just a fucking idiot. The reason... Because people are posing so many questions about it. Like, well, why? Why did they go back in? Why were Hegseth and Patel standing around? It's because they're all fucking idiots. Because it's a bumblefuck clown shoe circus. Wherever all of these people go, and they happen to be all in the same place at the same time. That's why. Like, it is... Is it really so hard? Because I understand the impulse to be like, well, obviously it was completely fake and everything else, because look at, like, of course it's fake, because look at how they fuck up everything, because of course they wouldn't even do a assassination attempt right. But yeah, like, they wouldn't even, like, they wouldn't be able to do an assassination attempt right.
I was surrounded by great people, and I probably made them act a little bit more slowly. I said, wait a minute, let me see, wait a minute. So, I'm telling...
Just at that moment where it looks like you go sort of down with the service, you were telling them to wait?
Well, I know what happened is then I started walking with them. I started walking, and they said, please go down on the floor. So I went down, and First Lady went down also, but we were asked to go down by the agents as I was walking. In other words,
they wanted you almost to crawl.
I was standing up, pretty much. I was standing up, and then turned around the opposite direction, and started pretty much walking out, pretty tall, a little bent over, because I'm not looking to be standing too tall. And but I was walking out. It was about halfway there, and they said, please go down to the floor, please go down to the floor. So I dropped to the floor, so did the First Lady.
What was your thought at that moment? What did the First Lady say?
Well, my thought was, I've been through this before a couple of times, and she has not, to this extent. She handled it great. I mean, she's very strong, smart. She got it. She knew what was happening. She listened. I did too, by the way.
Because this was the first time
when they said drop down, that meant trouble. And obviously, I'm the president, and I listened to what they said. Please drop down, sir. Please drop down. So I was walking halfway.
This is all him going on a tirade to make sure, again, like, he can never have any kind of perceived weakness. And I think that's the other thing that people aren't taking into account when they ask about things like, well, why did he come back out? Why wouldn't Secret Service shut down the event for the night? Like, how do you go on with this? That the only reason is that it's this big staged elaborate thing. And it's like, no, it's because of him. Like, it's because he would not allow himself to be perceived in any way as having fled, as being a coward. Like, he has too much fucking, too much pride, I guess is the easiest way you can say it. Just too much pride. Thank you very much for, holy shit, 50 El Salva. Thank you. Hear me, all LGBT, trans, and NBs. Your lives have value, and your differences are not deficiencies. They are unique gifts to our world. Our biodiverse planet needs new kinds of people to continue evolving and progress, which is why it needs you. Thank you very much, El Salve. That's very sweet. Jake GB, thank you for $5. It's probably staged, and they just didn't tell Trump ahead of time. Trump's dementia. He isn't the one pulling strings here. He thinks it's real. That's actually a really fucking funny, like, premise for a movie. I'm not going to lie. That's a really fucking, like, the CIA trying to assassinate a president, and like just a Mr. Magoo style caper where there are other factions in the deep state trying to save him, and he can just never remember. Like, it's just spy versus spy with fucking Mr. Magoo walking out in the middle of it.
Down at the final, because we had a little ways to go where you're exposed to the ballroom surroundings. And then I got up and we went to a hold room for a while, and I tried to get them to continue the event, if possible.
You wanted to go back in?
I did, I really did, because I don't like to have a criminal or a sick person or somebody, whoever he is, you'll figure it out. I mean, I think we're already figuring out he's a man with a lot of problems. But you don't want to have somebody like this, essentially attacking our Constitution, attacking our country, changing events that are, it's an important event. It was a very...
A night celebrating the First Amendment and the freedom of the press.
That's right, exactly. And this was a record setter. This was a very
fucking bold to be like, yeah, no, we were celebrating freedom of the press the same day that Hegseth is like, all of you motherfuckers, you're so mean and you don't respect our drone pilots. Very fun.
That dinner had some problems for the last 9 years, and now...
Also, not so subtly conflating attacking Trump to the yeah.
And I didn't help them. And this time I went, and I felt really good being there. There was a great camaraderie. I wasn't sure what the response. It was, a lot of press, a lot of media. And when I walked in, I got a very nice applause. I wasn't sure. I said, told my wife, I said, I may walk in, and they may give me a hard time, or I may walk in, let's see what happens. And I walked in and got very nice, I think they were happy to see me there.
Again, because, yeah, all of these fucking upper crust liberal commentators and journos and writers and people in the Beltway, they're still the upper crust. Like, they might write for more liberal outlets. They might call themselves more progressive. They're still, it's the same fucking club and you ain't in it. You know, it's the classic George Carlin line.
Actually, and I can tell you there's the biggest impact that I saw in the entire evening was, and I say this being somebody that's had a lot of, well, let's say we've argued a little bit to get things that I want done.
Right,
I fight for a border, and they fight for an open border, and you know we have a lot of differences.
You've got some tough words for the press in the back.
There was tremendous. By this time the event had taken place, people were starting to feel safe. There was tremendous camaraderie. I mean, I saw Democrats, I saw senators, I saw congressmen and women. I saw people that weren't necessarily on my side from the other party. Mostly, pretty much the Republicans are on my side, so I'm not that surprised. And they were going, way to go. There was
scathing indictment.
I mean, it was like the whole country was together.
Scathing indictment. Scathing indictment. Like, how dare you? How dare you? If you truly believe, if you are one of these Capitol Hill Democrats and you support the messaging of, oh, well, Trump is attacking our democracy and Trump, like, if you actually believed that shit, you wouldn't be being like, well, I'm so glad you're okay. Oh, geez, thank you. Oh, I'm glad nobody got it. Fuck off. You don't actually believe that shit.
It was pretty amazing. It made a big impression. It was very nice to see.
Do you think this will change your relationship with the press?
Well, look, for whatever reason, we disagree on a lot of subjects. We talk about
for whatever reason, you were constantly attacking them and targeting them and saying that they're fucking traitors, dude. Like, how many times has he floated the idea of the death penalty or treason charges for members of the press? The fuck are you talking about?
I'm very strong on crime. It seems like the press isn't. It's not so much the press, it's the press plus the Democrats, because they're almost one and the same. It's like the craziest thing. I have the strongest border we've ever had in the country, where, as you know, it said 0 people for 9 months came into our country through our southern border. We have a very tough border. Before me, 25 million people came in. I mean, whether it's 20 or 25 or 30, but they say 25 million people came in. 0 people. We have people coming in legally.
Can I ask you something?
But the other side doesn't like that. There are things that I like that I think are very standard. I want women to be able to play women. I don't want men in women's sports. And for whatever reason, the other side likes men in women's sports. So when you say get along,
but that's the other side.
I don't think I could ever. No, but I don't think I could ever.
Yeah, that's the other side. That's not the press. Very, very good clarification there.
Change my feelings on certain policies. I want strong borders. They want open borders. There's such a difference.
Can I ask you, Mr.
I will say this though. After the event, meaning it looked like things were good. We knew he was caught. I was given the information immediately. There was a camaraderie that you just have not seen in a while. It's very nice to see.
Mm-hmm. The president, you, Mr. President, the vice president, the Speaker of the House, the Secretary of State, Secretary Hegseth, almost the entire line of presidential succession was in that ballroom. Who was the designated survivor?
See, God damn it, dude. Like, you could have had it all. Oh, Christ.
Well, first of all, I have to say, it's not a safe ballroom. I'm building a safe ballroom. And one of the reasons I'm building it is exactly what happened last night. We're building a room right there. If you walk out and move 20 yards to the left, you'll be right at the entrance to the ballroom. And that ballroom is being built on the safest piece of property in this country, probably one of the safest pieces of land in the world. We have.
But that's owned. That's the White House. The White House Correspondents' Center can't use White House property.
It's able to be used by certainly the White House. It says the White House Correspondents. Well, that's the White House Press. I'm sure.
Jesus fucking Christ. El Salve. Oh my gosh! Thank you for another 50. Holy shit! Thank you, El Salve. Thank you, El Salve. Frodo, what are we holding on to, Sam? Sam, there's something good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. The two-tower speech Sam made has always stuck in my head in what I see today. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, Nehemia, you're outspended this stream.
Sure that it's available. It's up to the president, but that would be made available. And this has bulletproof glass. This has, this is the highest level of security. Also, very importantly, I could have built suites on top. I could have done a lot of things. And I said, no, this has to be pure. This has to be where people stay off property, and they go through one very impactful, very strong entrance, one very powerful entrance. There's no games with this. This is the best, highest. This has all sorts of security equipment at levels that you could never have in a regular ballroom.
And again, people are saying, sorry. That like, oh, well, this is all a false flag to build the ballroom. He's already building the fucking ballroom. Like, he's already building the ballroom. The ballroom is already going to be over budget. It's already having, like, the ballroom's already getting made. I don't know why people are like, oh, yes, no, this is the false flag day. Like, no, that's literally already happening. It's not like they're breaking ground here. It is just now being rolled out as this big thing, and why Trump needs another accomplishment to add to his... It's fucking bullshit.
And we're ahead of schedule. We're right on budget, ahead of schedule. I wish it could be even sooner, but we're months ahead of schedule. But it doesn't open until 28. So, that means you have another season and a half to go.
Right.
But this is exactly why the military, and this is exactly why Secret Service and all law enforcement want it, because you have
all
maybe
law
1,000 hotel
enforcement
rooms
want
above
it.
the ballroom we were in last night. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying in terms of maximum security, it's not the best thing. You can do it, but you can have problems like this. They have an elevator that comes down from the rooms. It's very close to the ballroom, which makes sense. So we're doing something that's going to have a tremendous impact on solving this problem.
In that video, you can see the gunman running through the metal detectors, and he fired off 1 or 2 rounds.
His speed was rather incredible, actually. He was like a blur.
How did he get that close with the place swarming with security?
I will say, look, I say it because I'm a big fan of the people of law enforcement. And, some of these people, they may be crazy, but they're not stupid, and they figure things out. He ran 45 yards, they say, and he just went to it, and then, boom, he popped through it. A thing like that could happen. I would say this, having the equipment on the outside of the building maybe is better than having it on the inside of the building. Sometimes that's tough. Sometimes it's horrendous weather. Sometimes it's pouring, it's raining, lots of things happen. But maybe last night was actually quite nice. The weather was beautiful. So maybe something like that has to take place. I can only say that from the moment they realized that he ran like, I think the NFL should sign him up. He was fast. When you look at it on tape, it's almost like a blur.
Right.
That blink says so much to me. This is the... like the look of a teacher when you want to reprimand a child, but their parent is right there. Watch this. Carson CJ, thank you for $2. Thoughts on Razor Fist, the Rageaholic? Do I know Razor Fist? That sounds like a dork. I've looked at some of their stuff. I do not know. I couldn't tell you a thing they've done. Like off the top of the dome.
Ran like, I think the NFL should sign him up. He was fast. When you look at it on tape, it's almost like a blur.
Right.
But it was amazing.
Just that like slow. Right. Yep. He was a blur. Oh, Kiragen Mystic, DD something positive. You look so cute and cozy in that hoodie. I wish I could give you a hug or at least a fist bump. I am pretty cozy. I'm kind of snuggy maxing today. I'm a little bit warm. It's been a okay day. I've been doing so much fucking. I did a lot of good writing today. Edited, finished the video, put it out today, and then getting ready for some long editing days this week.
They saw that. You could see them draw their guns. They were so professional. Aimed their guns, and then they took them down immediately. The doors were sealed. The room was sealed. The ballroom itself, where the people were, and they really, I think they did a great job.
I was in the room, not far from you, Mr. President, could hear what sounded like gunshots or commotion.
Right.
People nearby could smell the gunpowder.
YMS highlights, Razorfist thinks copyrighted IP is going to the public domain and is a bad thing. I wanted to bring this up earlier, but I forgot about it because tangent. I was thinking about like the dark future of media. And what I genuinely think is going to happen at some point is I think we're going to get competing, like in the next, if humanity is around this long, we're going to get competing franchises featuring the same characters. Like I think eventually we are going to get, in 50, 100 years, we're going to have characters in the public domain. People are going to be playing around with Batman and Superman. People are going to be making their own fucking Justice League movies and shit. And I don't know. I think that's an infinite, like, it's such a weird world that we're so fucking preoccupied with IP and franchises, and I really think it's going to start eating itself in ways that we cannot even think about right now.
Everybody hit the floor. There were a number of people who were very, very scared.
Yeah.
How worried were you that there were going to be injuries?
I wasn't worried. I understand life. We live in a crazy world.
Oh, hey, YMS Highlights. How you doing?
You can.
I wish the public domain. Yeah, and I don't think anything is bad. Like, whatever. Who gives a shit? The problem I have with public domain is that it would be a little annoying, right? Like the idea of sitting down and watching something made by fans. Think of who's it? It was a Star Wars, the Star Wars lore guy, the dude what always wears a hat. And he did his shitty like AI fan series. That is probably what a not insignificant amount of like that would look like, I think. You responded to my question and then recognize my username. No, I recognize your username. I just don't watch YMS a lot. is kind of the thing. Like I feel bad about. I feel bad about not engaging and interacting with a lot of content creators. I'm sorry. Dave Filoni. Yeah, God. Star Wars Theory. That's what it is. Star Wars Theory. Well, and it's because like I do think there are, I don't even know. Like what does that look like? Like if you think tomorrow, what does it look like the world if we take all of the chains off of IP ownership? Like it's going to be a glut of unwatchable fan fiction horse garbage. Like it's gonna be a bunch of horse garbage like Apple Cores and shit. You know, it's going to be, oh, here's my badass Kylo Ren movie. Here's my hard rated R. Like, what if Batman or what if Joker was like a slasher movie? Like that's what it would be. But I think there is genuine value in, because there's stuff like the People's Joker, with Vera Drew, of course, mutual friend of the show. I just interviewed Louise Weird, creator of the Castration movie anthology. And that's on the channel now. If y'all haven't seen that, by the way, go watch the interview with Louise Weird and the interview I just published with director and friend of mine, Mia Moore. I will be going to Seattle next month to visit and go see the world premiere of her film at the Seattle International Film Festival. Ivan Against Cuisine, good interviews. Thank you. YMS highlights. I'm always for more art, even bad art. Well, and there's something about, I was kind of thinking this the other night, is that like, I would so much rather have a film that makes me like think about why did a director, why did a creator make this choice, than have something that is very well done and entirely spelled out to me. The director, he just passed away, of Pinocchio, I think 764. Like that was a movie that like kind of blew my hair back a couple weeks ago when I checked it out on a whim for the first time. It's very low budget, very grungy, Japanese kind of cyberpunk horror thing. But it is so full of scenes that make me go, why? In a good way. In the same way, one of the reasons I love Nobuhiko Obayashi's work is kind of similar. In that there's so many. It's what's the word I'm looking for? There's a texture to their work that is, it's like a thumbprint. It's an individual signature, a calling card. And that's so rare in media, especially right now. It's very rare to have that kind of altruistic vision. YMS highlights. I respect fanfic that takes effort, even if I think it's bad. That's what's most important to me. Oh yeah, 100%. Like I wish people wouldn't. I don't want to say it's a waste of time and effort, because it's not. You are honing skills when you are writing, you are being creative, but I do wish people would challenge themselves more, and not, I wish people wouldn't go, oh, I love these characters, let me make my own, story about them being in high school or something. And I wish instead people would be like, okay, I love these characters, I love this story. Why? What made somebody else write that story? and then kind of go through that. But whatever, that's the creative experience. I've really gotten rid of over time. I used to have a weird chip on my shoulder about that, but I, like most things I used to have weird chips on my shoulder about, I just don't care. I don't have enough time to care about it. Jake GB, thank you for another 10. America needs to stop recognizing the private ownership of foreign IPs and foreign patents for practical and geopolitical purposes retrospectively. Fuck Nintendo and China has the right idea here. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like, especially when it comes to things that are, you know, Nintendo is a great example of just squatting on shit that is like, what, the fucking ROM sites and stuff you're going after? What are you doing? Those are the only ways that people can experience, like, people can experience pieces of art and culture of the past for so many people. Ugh. Carson 13, thank you for another 5. Donald Trump attended the lunch for the American Sega Genesis in 1989. Just some trivia. Damn. Genesis really does what Nintendo don't. And that's invite Donald Trump to lunch. Launch. Sorry. I had the for lunch. I was like, that's such a weird, what the fuck? What do you mean the lunch launch? Oh my God. But yeah, as a fun break, I'm really excited. If anybody else will be going over to the Seattle International Film Festival, hit me up, because we'll be there. Koa and I will be there for about a week, I think. He only went because there was lunch.
Really enhance your chances of having a perfect situation. But
I'm thinking of going, well, I know Mia's movie, Again, is, which, again, by the way, go check out the interview I did with Mia. You can check out the trailer for her movie and all the stuff on the main channel over on YouTube. And I know I know all of the showings for her movie is sold out. So it is sold out quick too, which I'm very excited for. But lots of other fucking cool movies there. I think I want to say Boots Riley is, I don't know. Oh, YMS highlights. Not sticking around. Have a good stream. You too. Thank you for stopping by so much. I want to say a snow set by Olivia. Yes, by Olivia. I want to say Boots is going to be there, which I'll have to look and see, because that would be really funny and really cool to meet Boots Riley, and also commiserate over now. Boots Riley and I have a experience in common, and that is being hounded and annoyed by Bad Empanada online. It's just a weird, like, seeing Boots Riley take time to genuinely try and engage with Bad Empanada has been, like, I just want to be like, oh, buddy, no, he's not worth this much energy, really.
sometimes things will happen. I did want to see what was happening because, you know, the president. In one way, I guess I should be hiding. In another way, I want to see if I can be helpful. But I did watch because I could see what was going on at the door. I also saw a lot of very strong, physically strong, really attractive law enforcement people come through those doors.
Hey. Huh? Huh? Ooh. One more time? One more time? Chapek Corral, no spoilers. I wanna go in blind.
I did want to see what was happening because, you know, the president. In one way, I guess I should be hiding. In another way, I want to see if I can be helpful. But I did watch because I could see what was going on at the door. I also saw a lot of very strong, physically strong, really attractive law enforcement people come through those doors. And frankly, it made me feel very safe.
Why is he always like that? Like, I don't get it. Yeah, helpful. What the fuck is he going to do? It's just you hear him use the term also all the time, central casting. Like you'll hear him talk about the generals, the soldiers. Look at him straight from central like he's such a fucking queen. He's just a fucking queen. Jake GB, thank you for $2. Is this bros coming out moment? No. This has been a consistent thing for years. For years, he will refer to people like this, primarily men. Yeah, he never does it with women. He never, like, he'll always say, oh, you know, it's a beautiful woman. But the way he lavishes praise upon men, and particularly people in the military or police officers, is so based on, like, their physicality and how buff they are and how, like, it's bizarre. Like, he is, God, we could have saved all this shit if somebody just made him into the Broadway musical promoter he wanted to be so bad when he was in his 20s. Like, if somebody had made that dream happen, we wouldn't be here right now. He'd be fucking producing fucking, what's the Mary Todd musical? Babe?
Mary Todd? That's not a musical, but it's called Oh Mary.
Oh, Mary. Lady did not like that I forgot the Mary Todd musical. Nehemia, thank you for another 5. In my opinion, indie creators' IP should be protected as long as their creator wants. IP owned by corporations that have limited copyright. Not that I'm biased, lol. I think that's fair. I think there's a time where that shit should run out, right? Because it's like, the thing to me that is dumb about copyright and stuff is that characters, you know, we have characters that are not copyrighted. Sorry, lady sees a dog outside. Not copyrighted. Characters like, you know, Dracula, Frankenstein, anybody, they're public domain. Anybody can make, you know, that. A lot of classic literature characters. And you have all of these different takes through time and history because these characters are so part of culture. Like, in a very real way, Bram Stoker wrote Dracula. Dracula was based on stuff before Bram Stoker wrote Dracula. But just through cultural osmosis, when something reaches a certain level of penetration, permeation in, like, a cultural sense, I feel it belongs less to any one person and more like the culture it belongs to. And so the idea of, like, keeping characters as ubiquitous as Darth Vader or Mickey Mouse or Batman or whatever off limits is very silly to me. Like, I just look at that and I'm like, man, y'all silly. Because you already have, if people are worried about, and this is kind of one of the things where it's like capitalism doesn't really account for this. If people are already worried about, like, well, what if fans, you know, I was talking about how there would probably be a bunch of shitty fan movies made. That's not any different than the way companies already treat these IP. Like, Warner Brothers put out The Batman and also Batman v Superman. You know? Like, in the mix here, you can go through any superhero in comic books. They have, like, no shortage. Batman in particular. I would say Batman and Punisher. Probably some of the worst, like, out of character, edgy divergences, like different stories being told by different authors. You know, and we already agree that we can have that. We already agree communally that you can have a Superman story like fucking Red Sun, or you can have a Superman story like Kingdom Come, one of my favorite stories ever. And neither of those have anything to do if Superman's in a fucking cartoon or in a new movie or whatever. Like, so I guess the point I'm getting to is that we already have all of these different interpretations of the character, and the only real thing uniting them is that, like, they were just signed off by a fucking company. And, like, who cares? Whatever. Like, this shit belongs more to people. It means more to people than it does to companies. But at the end of the day, I would also like to see less superheroes and shit. I would like to see more people trying to create something original, because that's how we got all of these stories and narratives and symbols that mean so much to people is by people sitting down, really Winnie the Poohing it out, and being like, okay, yeah, let's make something new. And I kind of wish we had more people doing that. I think we kind of need that. El Salve, thank you for another 20. The age of the Alpha Chud, Manosphere Passport, and Podcast Bros is over. The time for the... Hey, babe. The time for the furry cat boys is here. They are the next step of evolution for evolution of Alpha. Don't resist the inevitable. Reject cortisol. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right for that. Wait, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
What do you mean that the next step after the male patriarchy is more men, but with cat ears now?
I didn't say that.
That's what you just told me.
No, well, first off, that was somebody else's message.
Well, they're wrong.
Okay.
Very, very safe. There's nobody going to get by them. And this was at the very back of the ballroom, looking at the back of the ballroom.
The counter-assault team that comes in.
They were very impressive. I think they were very impressive. I think the whole operation was very impressive. The only thing you could say is maybe they could move that counterpoint out deeper. In other words, move it to the outside of the building.
Let's talk about that. Mr. President, I wonder how much has the Secret Service and the FBI briefed you about this suspect, Cole Thomas Allen? Have you read what a senior U.S. official is describing to us as a manifesto?
Yeah.
Did you know that he emailed it to family members?
We found all of that out this morning.
Right before the attack.
Yeah, we found that out this morning. And the family members were concerned. I think the brother called up the police. I think the sister may have called the police. The parents were rather devastated. He lived with the parents. I saw the parents last night on television opening the door. I assume that was his parents. Look, you have sick people, and you have to mitigate the risk. But some of these sick people, it's amazing. They're very sick, but they're also, in some cases, very, very smart. He went to great school. I can tell you the person in Butler, I don't know if you ever looked at his academic credentials. He had almost 1,600 on his college boards. 1,600. Nobody has. I mean, it's the upper 99.9 percentile or something, and he was a crazy person, but a smart crazy person. I think the law enforcement did a great job.
See, like, and that's the thing is that, like, man, I don't doubt he's a smart dude. He doesn't have that Uncle Ted energy, you know? He doesn't have that real crazy shit. Oh.
Job last night.
Let me ask you.
I guess if they didn't, I wouldn't be here. I think they really did a great job. Now, can you make adjustments? I mean, we're also learning. Can you make adjustments? I think the only adjustment would be you move your security equipment further away. But it was about 50 yards away. 50 yards is a lot of yards. Now, when a guy's running at
all right, I'm done hearing him fucking yap. Let's go really quick to. Oh wait, what the fuck? Why did it do that? I don't. Okay, wait, no, there it is. Weird. Erica Kirk. Saturday was yet another traumatic example of the evil in our country and the continued rise in political violence. I'm taking time to spend with my family. Now, here, this is actually very funny. You're gonna miss his crash out. Oh, okay. Let me read this from Erica. I will be joining the Charlie Kirk Show Wednesday at 12 p.m. to briefly address what took place. Enough is enough. Wednesday, baby. Wednesday.
that speed. He was a very fast person.
Can't wait.
And he got him a little bit by surprise, but that didn't matter because he was totally subdued very shortly after he passed that one point.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this quote.
This is, I did see a little bit of this. I can only imagine, which I can only imagine how good it would feel, even as somebody who toes the line like this journalist, to be able to have in a one-on-one conversation with Trump, with his undivided attention, because you're talking about his favorite subject, him, to be able to look at his face when you tell him they want to kill you because you are a pedophile and a rapist. The look in his eye.
Administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this. I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people. Horrible.
What the fuck? What just happened to the fucking Kumbaya Fest? What? How quick did that turn where he was like, yeah, we had a really good night and we got drinks with everybody, and Marco, he had a little too many, but we had some friends from CBS, and everybody, it was a lot of great camaraderie. Like, what? Yeah, he fucking snapped that shit right off. She's like, well, you're all fucking horrible people, and I hope you fucking die.
People. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me.
Bitch, you know. Girl, you know. You know. I don't mean bitch in a misogynistic way. You know he was talking about Trump. You know. That's the most catty, backhanded. You like? I need to watch it again. Her going. Oh, you thought that was. Oh, you think that? Wait, you think that's about you? Like trying to play it obliviously, like obviously it's about him, and her just being like, oh wait, so you do think that you heard the racist and the rapist and the pedophile, and you were like, yeah, they're talking about me, but that's not. Oh. Jorb 1903, thank you for $2. She trapped him on purpose because it wasn't specific. I love it. What's
your reaction?
Well,
to
I
that?
was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people. Horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview, and they'll probably, I read the manifesto, he's a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that, because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
I'm not. You should be ashamed of yourself for reading that. Yeah, the hit dog hollered. It is. Because here's the thing, you never see him react like this to other things. Unless it's shit he's done. It's the same way he acted with the Russia collusion hoax, with all this other stuff, where he wants to make it sound like, oh yeah, no, I have nothing to do with that. Now let me talk about how intimately involved I was, but I had nothing to do. No, it was just happened to be everybody else, but definitely not me. It was a really good joke somebody made about, in light of the fucking Michael movie coming out, where they were likening Michael Jackson and Trump fans are the weirdest people in the world, because they want you to believe that their guy is not a pedophile and was in fact keeping kids safe and never did anything weird, despite being the most obvious pedophiles in the world.
Excuse me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead, let's finish the interview.
What a fucking prissy little bitch.
The other thing that he wrote in the other thing in the
God, what a little God damn, like really, he turns on a fucking dime. He does. This is him going like, oh yeah, no, we're having a good, like, he thought, I'm in the green, I'm in the end zone, I'm like we're all gonna kumbaya because everybody's happy I'm alive, and they wouldn't at all bring up something bad in this. Just to be here. Journaloid Cortisol Max's Trumpicular by Jester reading. Fucking got him. Journaloid is, oh man. Unfortunately, Journaloid might be going in my permanent lexicon. Journaloid is really funny for me. Thank you for $5. I read the manifesto. It's bad. Says most illiterate POTUS in American history. Yeah, I'm sure he read it. It didn't just have fucking Cash summarize it for him.
Manifesto that I think is worth looking at in terms of determining his motive. He had been staying at the hotel since Friday. He checked in, he said he had cased the place, and he wrote, what the hell is the Secret Service doing? And he wrote this quote, I expected security cameras at every bend, bugged hotel rooms, armed agents every 10 feet, metal detectors out the wazoo. What I got is nothing. He wrote, like, this level of incompetence is insane.
Again, dude, like, why can't you, like, why would you put that in a manifesto? Why are you fucking giving them tips to punch up their security? Like, was like, yeah, you know, you actually could have totally like not only did you not get out of the tutorial area of your assassination plan, not only did you get got by the first fucking Goomba in World 1-1, but then you're like, you want to fucking hit the tips and tricks manual? You want to be like, yeah, no, actually, the boss on level 3 is actually mad easy. It's like, dog, what the fuck? Don't worry about the boss on level 3. Don't worry about the security. What? You didn't get past it in the first place. What? How are you gonna write down? Yeah, I can't fucking believe the secret service is so easy to get past. Like, what are they even doing here? They got you. You don't get to be tackled to not make it fucking 40 feet and then be like, let me give y'all some tips and tricks. No. Unironically, the first Goomba's, no, the second Goomba. Because that first one, you can jump over. It's that second one that gets you.
Sir, you have already had two.
Well, he was pretty incompetent, too, because he got caught. And he got caught pretty easily. So I'd say he was pretty incompetent, too. You know, I could take any event having to do with security or anything else. I can always find fault, no matter what. I could take a baseball team that won the game 18-0 and say they should have played better. Those guys did a good job last night. They did a really good job. Now, do they make adjustments? They do. They learn. They make adjustments. We're living in a different world with the internet than we had years ago. But even years ago, it was very dangerous. I mean, just ask Honest Abe Lincoln. Pretty dangerous. And but we are living a very, you know, the internet, I think maybe more than anything.
What do you mean, ask Honest Abe Lincoln, dude? What?
It's radicalized some people. It's made people mentally sick. It's also a great thing. It's a phenomenal thing. With a leader in it, with a leader in AI, it's a great thing. But you'll always find problems. But it's a different age. It's a very different time.
I mention that because, again, as his motive, you brought this up, he had social media accounts that had anti-Trump and anti-Christian rhetoric.
You should read. Why don't you read all the anti-Trump? Why don't you read it? You just did. So why don't you read it?
Well, he had a lot of anti-Christian rhetoric. He was part of a group called the Wide Awakes. He had attended a No Kings protest in California.
No Kings.
What?
The connection of it, yeah, he attended a No Kings protest. Fucking millions of people have. Millions. So what? Like, what people, I love how conservatives have riled themselves up so much into this fervor over any kind of dissent. And by the way, it is very much a calculated move to make any kind of dissent illegal, which is, do not think for a fucking second that Trump and everybody else want you to be able to talk about how much you fucking hate them, because they don't. They want to criminalize it. They're very openly. Taco Face Fart, thank you for $2. Time to ban college education. I mean, what the fuck is, you can basically pay for a degree now. What's the point? Killer Queen Bee, thank you for following. Hey, that's not an excuse to drop out. Stay in school, kids.
What did security tell you about what
See,
may have been his
the
motives?
reason you have people like that is you have people doing no kings. I'm not a king. What I am, if I was a king, I wouldn't be dealing with you. No, I'm not a king. I get it. I don't laugh. I see these no kings, which are funded just like the Southern Law was funded. You saw all that. Southern Law is financing the KKK and lots of other.
See, just like we talked about this, the Southern Law. He doesn't even know Southern Poverty Law Center, and they're not financing the K. Christ, man, Christ, his brain is pudding. His brain is pudding.
They're radical, terrible groups. And then they go out and they say, oh, we've got to stop the KKK, and yet they give them hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars. It's a total scam run by the Democrats. It shows you that, like Charlottesville was all funded by the Southern Law. That was a Southern.
Goddamn, dude. We've gotten to the point where Charlottesville, the narrative that Donald Trump, the president, just said and repeated, is that Charlottesville was funded by the SPLC. Pudding in the brain. Pudding.
Law deal too, and it was done to make me look bad, and it turned out to be a total fake. It basically was a rigged election. This was a part of the rigging of the election, and that's what you really should be doing. I mean, I hope one of your 60-minute episodes, which really hasn't changed very much for the last few years, I'm surprised, but one of those episodes should be on Southern Law.
Yeah, 60 Minutes hasn't changed in decades. What the fuck are you talking about?
And the fact that they spent millions and millions of dollars on absolute far right and just bad groups. And then they'd use those groups and they'd say, these are Republican groups and we're coming to your rescue. And they're the ones that have funded it and they're the ones that keep them going. Pretty sad. Do you think it's pretty sad, Nora?
The allegation.
God, just a fucking laser focus on her. Good job. Good job on her. Like, the inability to... His inability to stay on focus and then want to ask her questions, and her ability to just be like, nope, fuck that. No, I can't. Because I know she wants to. I know she wants to. And she's like, nope, I can't. I got it.
And the indictment
They're not
laid
just
out
allegations. These are facts, okay? These are facts. I mean, they have checks to the Ku Klux Klan and many others.
So here's the thing. Remember when I was talking about what the purpose was of bringing an indictment against the SPLC? This right here. It is entirely, almost entirely, I would say, a PR move to appease Trump, to get him to reframe even more the world in his image, that everything against him is some giant cheat or a swindle and as a scam and all that shit. And everything he's done is, in fact, great and, you know, it was perfectly legal and all that shit. It is so transparently clear by just the lack of any definition, any details, anything he understands from it. It is in the exact same way he reiterates anything else he wants to be true. Not what is true, but the things he wants to be true.
And then they're saying how bad they are and blaming the Republican Party and Republicans. These are not just allegations, but go ahead.
Well, as you know, sir, you've been accused of things and we're able to go to a court of law and adjudicate them. So
Yeah,
allegations
after 5 years. It's true. It takes you about 5 years.
I do want to talk about that.
Well, I've also won a lot of money from fake news media where they write falsely about me. And not that I want to sue people, because I don't. But I bring lawsuits against the fake news. I brought lawsuits against your network, and you paid me $38 million because you did something that was so horrible. With Kamala, you put an answer down that wasn't responsive to the question because her real answer was so bad, it was election threatening. And you paid me a lot of money. You tried to pull one off. It was terrible.
Yeah, there's no conflict of interest here when the Justice Department is entirely at your thrall and, like, straight up, the most... We need so many fucking reforms. We need so many reforms. We need so many things torn down to the fucking ground before we can start again, before we can have, like, a productive society that values everybody. It's so frustrating to think about. Anyway, sorry, don't mean to be a fucking
It was a terrible thing that you did. And, you know, when you say, can we all get along, you can, but when people do things like that, how about the BBC, where the BBC has me, actually AI, they had me saying a horrible statement. Yeah. I said, I never said that. It turned out they gave me a little AI treatment where they have my lips speaking words of hate, tremendous hate that I never said. They don't know what to do. They've admitted they're wrong. They just don't know what to do. They actually have me making a major statement, and it wasn't me. Mm-hmm. It was my face. It was my lips. My lips were perfectly in sync with the words. I said, I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Do you think that maybe, hey, no, whatever, that's not going to inspire anybody to be like, oh, you know, we actually,
So
I hear you, Mr. President.
So then when you say, can you get along? I can get along with anyone.
She's trying. I hear you, Mr. President. She's trying so long.
If people are going to cheat, he
is just rambling. He is just rambling. I love the very brief. I have it at 1.5 speed, so it's really good to click back to her just briefly, then back to him. Adds a real nice comedic timing.
Going to be fake. You sort of don't want to get along.
On that, what do you say to people who are encouraging political violence or even cheering it on?
Well, I think the ones that are doing that are much more far left than far right. Much more. When you see, again, Southern law, when you see some of the statements that are made that are so, even when you say no kings, that's encouraging. You're saying one of the things this guy said in his manifesto, which you didn't read, you should have, is that he attended a no kings.
You didn't read, you should have. She quoted the manifesto. What the fuck are you talking about?
Rally, along with not too many people, and probably.
It's just the lack of being able to even acknowledge, because I understand this has been his thing for fucking ever. Completely ignoring the reality as long as it threatens him or makes him look bad in any way. But it has gotten to such a comical point where how do you seriously, go on 60 Minutes and say, no kings, which nobody went to. But everybody, Republicans, conservatives, Democrats, liberals, centrists, people who don't fucking vote, have seen the tens, the hundreds of thousands of people in the fucking streets for these No Kings protests. Like, you can say all you want about any lack of effectiveness, any lack of organizational change, any further will to enact change outside of like the kind of liberal structures of letting people know we're really angry and that's how we're defending democracy. There's a lot of problems with the No Kings protests I've spoken about and will continue to speak about. The idea that not many people attended them is plainly ridiculous. And it's insipid at this point that he is still, like, it's just one of those things that I don't, even if you are a Trump supporter, I don't understand how you hear him try and downplay this shit and it doesn't put a little bit of a crack in your trust. It doesn't put a little bit of a, well, if he's very obviously lying about this because I have fucking eyes. What else is he lying about? What won't he lie about? Why does he lie so easily? Like, fucking come on, man.
It had an impact. You know, they get up and they say whatever they want. No, I'm against that. I think it's terrible.
Also at the dinner last night was your secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Yeah. His sister, Carrie Kennedy, was there. They've both witnessed their father and their uncle be assassinated.
That's right.
Erica Kirk was there. The House Majority Leader, Steve Scalise, was there.
Yeah.
Political violence has touched so many people in that room. Is there something that you as president can do? What can be done to change the trajectory?
Well, you know, you go back 20 years, 40 years, 100 years, 200 years, 500 years. It's always been there. People are assassinated, people are injured, people are hurt, and I'm not sure that there's any more now than there was. I do think that the hate speech of the Democrats, much more so, is very dangerous. I really think it's very dangerous for the country. I think the fact that I've accomplished so much, I've made our country great again. I mean, this country was dead. Our country was dead. A year and a half ago, sleepy Joe Biden had no idea what he was doing. I don't think it was him either. I think it was the people that surround him in the Oval Office at the beautiful Resolute desk. I don't think he didn't sign anything.
He fucking, perfect encapsulation. Perfect. That she asks, hey, what do you think we can do to turn down this temperature of violence? And his first fucking thing is like, fucking Joe Biden, man, that piece of shit didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And all these Democrats keep saying hate speech at me. I don't even want to, we should just jail him. Like, come on, man.
They used the auto pen to sign 90%
yeah,
of the
modest
things.
mouse.
I think that they engendered, they really created a tremendous amount of anger and hate. Our country was dead, and now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. No, not even close.
Last night,
as an example, investments in our country for 4 years, less than $1 trillion under Biden. In 11 months, $18 trillion under Trump. Now, most people are happy about that, but some people are really angry about it. You know why?
You know why? Yeah. Where is that money being invested? How much are you and your family making off of it? Because we already know your fucking crypto billions are, nobody can keep track of them because they're coming in so fast. How many insider contracts are you trading around to your friends and buddies? Like, nobody buys this shit because everybody knows you're lining your fucking pockets. Gas prices are at $4 a gallon now. God damn.
Because it means we should be around for a long time, and they don't want that to happen.
Last night you had very much a tone of unity when you were in the White House press briefing room.
I think so, yeah. I think I really felt very calm. I feel very calm, and I feel very calm right now, other than a couple of your questions, which are meant to antagonize and totally inappropriate. But I feel very calm. Mm-hmm. I thought last night was a very important...
Sorry, I know I keep pausing it. It's just I'm finding the words for what specifically is pissing me off about him. The thing that gets me is this feigned respect or feigned understanding of what a journalist needs to do and how they go about their job, right? Where you sit down for a journalist and you know what their job is. And you're fucking breaking balls over, like, of course they're going to ask you about that. Of course, you are the fucking president after a assassination attempt. We'll give it an assassination attempt. We'll call it the attempt. And you are getting mad that they are just asking a question. I don't care if it's true. I don't care if it's not. The fact that you have such a problem with it kind of tells me it's very much a plead the fifth situation. God damn, Eviscerator. Gas is like $6.60 here in SoCal. What the fuck? I never put $50 in gas into my car until yesterday. Oh my God, Velvet Fire. I had to put gas in my car today. This time last year, 25 would have filled my car. I put 25 in today, and I'm just over half a tank.
Thing to do, and people have said I did it well.
That's
not an easy
crazy.
thing to do. You leave a scene like that, and then you're supposed to let our country and even the world know that it's going to be okay.
And what about when we're talking about the division in this country, the political violence? Now many of your cabinet secretaries live on military bases in order to, because of the potential threats against them.
Well, they choose to. I'm not sure that they need to. They also have nice places, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats did the same thing. Some of the housing on the military bases is very nice. I'm not sure they do it necessarily for violence, but probably it's not the worst thing in the world. Look, we are consequential. This is a consequential presidency. I have a great cabinet, and they do things that are very good, but some people, you know, they're good for us, they're not good for other people. Like, as an example, Iran, when they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. They will not have. They're not going to blow up the world. They're crazy. They're not going to blow up the world. And therefore, they're not happy. And when they're not happy, people do things that are violent. Now, I'm not tracing anything back to them, but certainly if they had a shot, they'd probably take it. So when you...
All right, here we go. Lindsey Graham, probably it's a tough competition for who I hate most. Dexter Bunko, thank you for $1.09. Bedtime, good night. Have a good sleepin', Dexter Bunko.
We're going to introduce legislation that would authorize $400 million to be spent to secure to build the presidential ballroom. Underneath, there will be a lot of military stuff. There will be a Secret Service annex, and we've paid.
God, he's looking fucking rough.
For it
he's looking fucking bad. Like, look, we talk about it a lot. We talk about it with Laura Loomer and people. Hate ages you, but he has been going through. He's been doing rough.
Offsetting it with custom fees, but the estimate is $332 million. We're going to do $400 million because I think it's probably going to take more. Private donations can be used, but I think they should be used for buying china and stuff like that. Underneath this ballroom will be infrastructure that is national security.
Yeah, 400. Yeah, fucking. What is that?
Sleeve that I found on the ground.
A sleeve what you found on the ground? How you doing?
Good. I got bunk.
Okay.
Finish my popper deck if you want to play me with your popper deck when you're done.
You want to play a Papa deck?
Well, just finished mine, so like.
Okay, well, I think I have 2 Pauper decks if you want to play Papa.
Do you have any spare cases?
Pauper, I don't really. Oh yeah, I have sleeves if you want to deck it up, but
I put it in sleeves already.
Oh, from what? Oh, just like my extras?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, cases for what?
Like a box to put them in.
Oh yeah. Bottom right down there, the ones on the right should be empty.
Cool.
I think it's just those 2 right now.
Okay, worm.
You could take the.
I don't know either of these 2 people. Which one out of these 2 people are more gator?
Well, that's a pirate.
That's pretty gator.
That's pretty gator. Sorry, they get to listen to.
I have a hat in my popper deck.
I love you.
Centric. The ballroom itself will avoid the dilemma of having to leave the White House grounds with future presidents and this president's to go downtown in a place that's less secure. President Trump said to me this morning, yesterday, we need the ballroom not just for me, but for.
I love anytime Koa pets Lady. She gets so. Close the door. I see you.
I'm with you.
No, I wanted to tell a cute story on stream. Get out of here, Yus. Better not be listening at the door. No, I think they're gone. Koa and Lady, Lady is usually so hyper around Koa, but sometimes Koa will like just pet her on the head and she calms down. She gets like the sweetest look in her eye and she just goes and just stares up so lovingly. There was one of my favorite moments. Koa started singing to Lady one time. I was trying to remember what we were doing. I think we had just gotten back from like a night out and we were a little bit buzzed, and Koa started like singing to Lady and it calmed her down and she just stared at them. Oh, it's so cute.
Future presidents. He literally could have left his bedroom, walked out the back of the White House, and been at the ballroom. That's what needs to happen when you have 1,000 or 2,000 people gathered in today's environment.
I don't fucking care about him, dude. I don't fucking like. They just gotta. You just gotta have $1 million ballrooms. Whoops. Thanks for showing that, dude. Moon's Rare Books and Esoterica. Charlie Kirk speaks to me. This video has been trying to. They've been trying to get me to watch this shit for a week now. The threats are real. Like, dog. They want to kill us. Stop fucking lying about people, dog.
So,
okay, dude. Professional.
The threats and the risk are actually very real. In fact, today, April 27th, is a day that I'm supposedly supposed to die according to a threat.
Joey Mountains. Muddy ditch alongside the highway with your mother.
Made on the internet. In fact, it's a photo of me in a...
He was just fucking saving this for months. He was just saving this.
Ditch with a decapitated head that says this is going to be you on April 27th, 2026 in a mud.
What is wrong with you that you show that, you fucking freak? Like, blur it out, you fucking...
people, but to more so show them what it's actually like.
Oh my god. Maybe, next to Chibi reviews, maybe the worst person to be like, this is... I'm just going to show how hard life is really for me after I've done everything to bring it all on me. Uncle Simric, yeah, this is the Smalley daycare guy. Who is this guy? This is the guy who started a entirely fake moral panic from conservatives about the Somali daycare fraud and inadvertently ended up getting multiple people killed. Or I guess at least one person killed. Yeah, Uncle Simric, you send that shit to the FBI. Like, he's so fucking stupid, dude. Again, this is the same shit with Chiba reviews. I don't know if it's just the younger generation. I don't know if it's just people who, like, they were brought up terminally online. They think that everything needs to be handled through the internet. But there's some stuff you don't need to make fucking public. Especially when you are complaining about how much attention you're getting and how much people are attacking you over the shit you do. Like, you are Streisanding yourself. Like, what are you doing?
Kind of being in the political climate, not just seeing it from the outside, but being someone who's actually living through it, especially with the last assassination attempt on Donald Trump. The threats are real, and you do have a small percentage of the country, even if it's just 1%, that has gone radical. And now,
why does he talk like that? I forgot why he talks like that. I've never seen a more private schooled kid in my entire life. Yeah, if you couldn't tell by everything.
I'm not sharing.
You're not being... TT, stopping me to Nick. You're not being Uncle Benevolent to him. Oh.
This stuff with you guys to make you guys scared for me.
Oh, wait. Ko's back. Sorry.
So I'm just sharing this so you guys can actually understand what it's actually like living in the political climate. A lot of you guys see it from the outside, but very few people actually enter into the arena. And for me, when I exposed the Minnesota fraud...
Do what? No.
I was...
$2. Nehemia, thank you. Is it just me or does he look a little Kirkified? The Kirkification thing is weird because I'm unfortunately starting to see it too.
Who's a little Kirky with it?
This guy. I think he's just Kirky by genetics though. He's got European peasant stock.
Kirked up white boy.
Kirked up white boy. Yep. Kirkalicious. Absolutely kirked with it. Now his face isn't small enough. No, I had a moment the other day where I was playing. What was I fucking playing? I think I was playing like LA. No, it wasn't LA Noire. Something on PS2. It was I think it was like a Medal of Honor game, and I was looking at, because when I haven't been playing a lot of games lately, and when I do, it's usually like, you know, at night. There was a night or so ago, I took an edible. Koa was out drinking with a friend. I took an edible, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna play some fucking PS2, because I hadn't done it in a while, and which like is something that I'm gonna talk about in the upcoming video, by the way, because I'm like, my gaming habits have changed in such weird way. Like, it's been weird to actually undergo like kind of a chemical change in how I interact with games because of my PS2 project. But no, there was a fucking NPC in one of the Medal of Honor games I was playing that was like just staring at me in their like weird little, you know, ventriloquist puppet, as PS2 models are wont to do, where all of their hands look like this. They have this like weird mitten hand that they were doing in the PS2, and he looked kirked. It looked kirked up. It was fucking weird. It was fucking weird.
Forced to enter.
No, I'm honestly forgetting what Charlie Kirk looks like because of the stupid AI Kirkification. No, the Kirkification of AI is the crazy part, because he himself doesn't look like what people remembered him as now.
Into that arena after everything took place. Whether between exposing billions of dollars in fraud, the riots that took place, the shootings that took place, it's created a crazy atmosphere where...
It's created a crazy atmosphere. You have created that atmosphere. What do you mean it's you are part of that problem?
My name was in the forefront of it. And at that time, actually, in Minnesota, you had people posting signs on street poles that said this. These were on signs.
See again. How do you have that bottom part? If you see this man, tell him to kill himself. That's fucking funny. I'm sorry, that's fucking funny. If you see, like, again, what he's gonna try and do here, I'm almost sure of it, is to be like, look at how much they hated me, and you see that they were so mean to me, and they want to kill me, and they want to. But first off, this is, again, not the smartest example to pull out, because A, it reminds people that, yes, you helped kill Renee Good. You helped kill innocent fucking people. You scumbag piece of shit. B, it does not actually threaten you directly. It simply says, do not let him in your business. And C, you include somebody dunking on you. You included somebody fucking just like that one meme with Venom dunking on Spidey, saying, hey, if you see him, tell him to fucking kill himself. Sorry. This is the type of shit. This would be like if Spider-Man put together a project and would be like, yeah, no, and this is how good I am at my job. And it's this. If you see this man, tell him to kill himself. I want to get that on a fucking t-shirt. That's like the, you know, hitchhikers may be escaped convicts type shit. If you see this man, tell him to kill. If you see this man, tell him to kill himself, and it's like a fucking picture of like a sleep paralysis demon. It's just so fucking funny to me. Jorb1903, thank you for $2. Highly recommend the bop Kirkalicious by Goldilocks. He is a locale. He is a locale, but he's like also platformed by Fox News.
It says, Nick Shirley brought ice to Minnesota. He helped kill Renee Good. Do not let him in your business. If you see this man, tell him to kill himself.
The look on his face when he does that. So it doesn't show. Okay, let me. Well, there we go. So yeah, there's the full picture. If you see this man, tell him to kill himself. God, my recs are so fucked. Esoterica on Moloch, Majority Report, top 5 new cars from Secrets of Strixhaven.
No, Grandma, I'm getting out of here. I don't want your presence. No, Grandma, you kiss Grandma.
These people should be classified as domestic terrorist and charged.
Be nice to Grandma. She hit her on the head as she fell.
Well, baby.
What a dick.
Ooh, ex-Infowars employee on Alex. Is that fucking... No, that's not Owen. Huh. The new cards are okay. I've been fucking loving it. Chat, Ko and I have been actually doing a lot. I've been reading the Strixhaven book. I've been doing a lot of Strixhaven. I love Lewin. I have the Witherbloom deck finally in a state that I'm like, what? Witherbloom? Witherbloom deck that I'm pretty happy with. El Salve and Anarchaley, thank y'all. El Salve, thank you for $5. He's complaining about his life in danger, yet destroyed hundreds of innocent. Yeah, he's like Eddie Brock trying to ruin Spider-Man. Kinda, a little bit. Anarchaley, thank you for $5. So many disabled folks here are having their services interrupted or investigated because of Nick. Seriously, screw him. Oh yeah, he did that shit in California, didn't he? Uncle Simrick, thank you for $5. Everyone, did you exercise today? The fascists did. Why haven't you? We did. We went on our 3-mile hike. And I've been doing my calisthenics. I'm kind of getting, I don't want to say ripped, because I have a different definition of ripped, but like, I've never had such prominent abs before. I'm so excited to start taking cosplay photos. I already have a couple. I've ordered a couple pieces for some cosplays that I'm doing, and then I'll be back taking pictures really soon. Today's my down day. Ella Eris, I've been wanting to run a Strix DM campaign for a while, make it queer-friendly Harry Potter. I like the new... I was talking to my partner, my other partner about this. I underestimated how much changing a fantasy school from high school to college would maintain my interest. Yay, more DD cosplay. Yeah. Wild Antics, Strix is already queer friendly. The art has MM art in it. Well, it has lesbian art in it too. Who's the MM art? What's the... Let me... Uncle Sim... Oh, sorry. I already read that one. Find the page. Give me a tick. You're good. El Savi, thank you for another 5. My brother was cut from the NDIS because he inspired copycats to do expose videos in Australia. I have no sympathy. That fucking sucks. That fucking sucks. Oh, okay. You're talking about the 5 ebook. I thought you were talking about this. Okay. Yeah, here's joined researchers is the lesbian card, which is really fun. And then there's a couple other gays here. Who else? Rutha is a lesbian, I believe. This you can't tell me this elf isn't gay. Like, get the fuck out of here. Come on, son. Come on, son. And then where's my beloved F slur? Oh, okay. Well, hang on, everybody. I need to show off one of my favorite magic arts ever. First, I need everybody to look at this guy. I need you to look at him. I need you to take him in. I need you to understand him. This guy, my best friend. Nehemia, thank you very much for $5. I want a college-centered magical realism fantasy story. Sorry. If you want a college-centered magical realism fantasy story, I recommend Babel by R.F. Kuang. Fantastic book, slow for the first half, but seriously worth it. Hell yeah. Oh my God, thank you, El Salve, for 10 donations. Holy shit, thank you so, so much. Everybody gets a membership. Thank you, Bale. Getting a fuck ton. Yeah, I think El Salve got 10. Yeah, the studious first year, friend shaped. Absolute friend, absolute legend. Frog Druid, Fruid. Where is my beautiful F slur? Here he is. This, my baby, my sweet little baby. I love them so much. I'm gonna probably try and do a cosplay at some point this year of Lewin. Oh my God, Robert Stack. Holy shit. Wait, hang on. Robert Stack. Holy shit. Thank you for 20 memberships. Oh my God. Wait, too bad I can't choose which person. Robert Stack. Goodness gracious. Is that the bear everyone picks instead of toxic dudes? Absolutely. I guess I haven't actually looked at all of these cards. Strixhaven Sky Coach. El Salve, thank you for another. El Salve, holy shit. They've sent 30. Who did? El Salve? Sent 10 before. Oh, you've both sent 30? Oh my God. Thank you so much. Holy fuck. It is, I don't know what it is about this. 50? Oh. Holy shit. Holy fuck. Thank you so much. El Salve, thank you again for another 10. Y'all, we do have, thank you obviously so much for all of the donos. I'm overloaded right now. If you have anything else you would like to give, please, we do have people we need donated to. At the links, I believe there should be a pinned on Caranel and some of the other people here. I know Johnny Viral posted them earlier. LA Harris, that's the longest I've ever been silent. I don't have anything to say. Holy fuck. I'm trying to read through because people are getting memberships so quickly. Yes, Violet left. Thank you for sharing that over on Twitch. Oh, fuck, Carinel. Let me not pin tonight. Mods can't do that. How much money is that? I don't even know how to start doing the math on that shit. El Salve, thank you so much. You're good. You're good. I was honestly getting ready to go over and raid somebody because a friend of mine who doesn't stream often is, god damn. Yes, Carinel, by the way, Carinel is posting their link. If you had, I don't know if Robert is still here or El Salve, if anybody can give a couple more bucks, I would definitely appreciate that. I'm good. Thank you. Like, I appreciate the donos. I appreciate the generosity. It means so much. But I'll also, if anybody can give it, the links Johnny Viral and Carinel have posted, I would appreciate it as well. Yeah, I have to go. I have to let Lady out. I'm still overwhelmed. This is fucking a hell of a way. Hell of a way to end a stream. And thank you, absolutely, Robert, and thank you, El Salve, and thank you to everybody. This has been massively helpful, and I will do what I can, as always, to pass it and pay it forward. Let's go play with a friend of mine, Lyra Lore, who is a wonderful friend, trans streamer. Go like, subscribe, follow. She is trying to get to 1,000 followers right now. So go like, go send a sub her way, and tell her Vesper says hi. And we're going to start the raid there. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. El Salve, thank you for $10. I'm going to support others now. Thank you, El Salve. Always appreciate you. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night.